This episode of the Giant Bombcast is brought to you in part by Squarespace. Did you know that the future is coming? It's time to make it brighter with Squarespace, because Squarespace will make it easy to turn your idea into a unique website, all right? It'll showcase your work, your blog, you can publish content, sell products and services, all in just a few clicks. Customize whatever you need to customize, look and feel, settings, products. Use beautiful templates created by world-class designers, and there's nothing to install or upgrade or patch or whatever like that. It just works. Head over to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, use the offer code BOMBCAST to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Today is Tuesday. It is March 27th.
Hi.
Hello, this is the Giant Bombcast.
Everything smells like chocolate.
Everything smells like chocolate.
You were sitting there last week.
Yeah.
That's you, Ben.
And I was
And you're
eating
sure that
Kit
you-
Kats there last
Ben
week.
Pack, who left a Kit Kat on the table over in the chair you were sitting in.
Matt Rory.
Oh. It's a pile of chocolate mixed in with like fingernails, weirdly enough.
Oh, yeah.
The mystery only deepens. I'm Jeff Gersman,
Gets
Ben
stickier.
Pack, Jason A. Striker
Hi.
with me.
Hey, what's going on?
We've got Jan down there in the back,
Hi,
holding
guys.
it down.
Hey, dude.
It's flying off the rails.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Hold it down.
Just keep it together. Get some duct tape. Just okay.
Deploy wings.
Last week, I found out that duct tape is actually used for ducks, and that just blew my fucking mind.
I saw that on the video.
Yeah,
I didn't notice it at the time, but yeah, thanks to Ben's lens, I was able to capture that moment of
Yeah.
Dan going, "Oh,
Yeah, that's why they
changed my
call
whole
it duct
26
tape.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's not just for ducks anymore."
yeah. I feel like I have never used duct tape on a duct. It's always been something.
Everything but.
That's the only
Yeah.
duct I've ever used duct tape on, and it wasn't working
Yeah.
on that duct.
Yeah,
it,
I had
it actually wasn't.
I had a roommate at one point that used it to tape up cardboard in his windows.
Yep.
To keep the
light
the,
out.
The light out.
Yeah, who wants
And
that?
to keep other things in.
Yeah. No, there was a lot kept in that room. Now that room is my like office room, there's still a.
Still a funk.
And he cracked the window
Oh,
as a result
Oh.
of that. So one pane of this
Oh.
2-pane glass has a big crack through it, and it
Was
has
it
a
when
bunch
he
of
was
tape residue on the
hammering
window.
on the
Yeah,
duct tape?
yeah. He used a hammer and nails to just pound through, figuring, he started with that, and then he's like, I better duct tape this whole thing together.
Before Jeff notices.
He worked, he worked nights.
Yeah. I get that.
When you're
I
in
get
the
that.
strip club industry, concessions have to be made.
Oh, you don't gotta tell me.
Was he a stripper?
I don't know what he did. There are a lot of questions about what he did when he was not at the house, and some questions about what he did when he was at the house. So,
I had a best friend that managed a strip joint. That was a fun gig for him.
yeah, I don't know. It's just seemed I don't think I would want to do that, having been backstage at those types of establishments
Oh, sure.
before, kind of hanging out or knowing somebody or
Oh yeah,
interview-
it's, depending on the place, it can be kind of upscale. But I've been to some skeezy ones.
I just don't like strip clubs. They're just not for me.
Yeah, they're fun to just like play pool at.
some have really good food.
Yeah, buffets even.
The like I said it before, but the IT crew here used to go to the Gold Club
Gold Club.
right over
I've been
there
there,
for
yeah.
like the lunch buffet all
I've
the
never
time.
been
They're
to the
like, it's
Gold
got a
Club.
really good burger. I'm like, man, fuck you guys.
Yeah.
It's true though.
The
I'm
fried chicken.
yeah, fried chicken, Caesar salad, spaghetti.
That's just like spaghetti. Really? Oh man,
That's
It's the
not.
only
I-
time I've been in a strip club is to eat the buffet.
I cannot
Same.
get down with the idea of eating food in front of them.
It was hard. It was very much like these two parts of my brain that are not usually working together at the same time are now competing over where my attention goes, and it was just a
Right.
mess. It was.
Yeah.
I felt like,
Literally, was it? A mess?
Were you just like dumping food on yourself? You're like, what are you doing?
No, but how they get you is the drinks, because they're like,
Oh,
you
yeah.
should buy a Coke for $4.
Yeah. That's
Can you have lunch with the ladies? Like just
I
go
mean,
through the line with them. That would be
we-
nice.
A friend of ours, well, a friend of mine who we went with was friends with a stripper. They bonded together over being from Stockton when he noticed her bullet hole.
Nothing says
Scar.
Stockton quite like a bullet scar.
Yeah. So she sat with us and kind of talked about, like, we asked her questions about how
The
is
life.
it weird, like,
The life,
performing for
man.
people who are eating.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it was.
Did she
It was
confirm
interesting.
that it's a little weird?
She was actually kind of into the idea because, like,
Maybe that's
it
her
drew,
thing.
it
Okay.
relieved a little bit of pressure because people were at least going to be satisfied with the food. That, like, if she messed up, she was a little less worried about.
Oh man.
It was a fun time.
Well, at least that mac and cheese was good.
I could really go for some macaroni and cheese. Honestly, that's
And it was $5, all you can eat.
Yeah,
in
for
San
real?
Francisco.
Yeah, that's the best part.
value. This is the Giant Bombcast, episode 525.
This is what happened to Brad's.
Brad Shoemaker is away on assignment this week. We wish him the best.
Good luck, sir.
And
Godspeed.
we're here.
Yeah.
And what's going on?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I sprained my wrist.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
I bought an electric skateboard.
Oh, okay. Hang on. Are
Yeah.
these two things connected?
Oh, totally.
Okay, good. All right.
Sick.
Great.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been wanting to get on that kick, like that boosted board thing. It seems like a practical and fun. I'm having a midlife crisis. Please help me.
Corvettes are expensive. Boosted
skateboards are
powered skateboards.
as far as I'm concerned, they cost the same amount of money. That's just astronomical, like $1,500 or something. Anyway, I went down to another level, the Meepo board. That one was only $400
Yes.
or something like that. But then I'm like, no, that's still too much money. So I went even cheaper. I found the swag board.
Swag board.
Yeah,
That's
swag board.
I mean, it's a great name.
I was out at Fry's and I'm like, you know,
okay.
it-
I
yeah,
see how this happens.
I had no intention of actually buying it. But
Hey, a quick question.
happened.
Quick question about the fries here. Not to totally
Oh, man.
derail.
Yeah.
I haven't been to the fries here in a very long time. Do they sell anime porno?
I think certain ones.
I know.
do.
Yes. No. I know
don't-
certain ones do.
Yeah,
I'm asking specifically about the one you went to.
The Concord one, I don't know. I haven't
All right.
looked in the movie section.
All
for
right,
a
go
while. Well, anyway, yeah, I ended up completely impulse buying this goddamn swag board. Hooked it up, and it's swaggerific or whatever. I decided to go and check it out, like in the the hallways of my apartment building, and
Not carpeted.
not carpeted.
Okay.
No, these are like polyurethane wheels and stuff. So yeah, it got going. So it had been a long time since I'd been on a skateboard, for sure. We are talking decades,
Right,
So
yeah.
I was a little wobbly,
Mm-hmm.
but I got on. I stayed on just fine. I went one run down the hallway. Got up to like max speed. I'm like, this is fucking awesome. This is so much fun. And I turned around the other way and we did the same thing. Still a little wobbly here and there. And then I got to a corner. It's like, okay, I just got to slow down. There's a
Yeah.
little brake thing.
Okay.
That did not work.
Now that's swag.
There's no
Yeah.
brakes on the swag train.
That's right.
No, because I tested it. It does work. But at this moment in time, it decided not to work. So the board kept going, and I'm like, I don't want to go into the wall. Let me flop my old ass onto the ground. And yeah, I sprained my wrist. The board kept going.
Yeah.
And it kept going full speed, even though I wasn't holding the goddamn remote
Wow.
anymore. So that's
Is there any kind of hand sensor
Yeah.
on it that says like you
Like
were
a-
holding this so the board keeps going?
No,
Or
just like a little joystick.
is it wired to the board?
No, not wired
Okay.
to the board. So it's remote. So it apparently had lost connection or something like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, it kept going full speed even though I wasn't pressing the remote.
You'd think that you would program a board, and maybe I'm just, not smart enough to understand how this stuff is made, but I would assume that if a board like that lost connection,
Mm-hmm.
the protocol would be gradually come to a stop.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's not very swag, though.
But
You got to keep going.
if you're the maker of the swag board,
Yeah.
you probably spent a lot of money on marketing, research, and just getting the
Trying-
registered trademark for swag board,
Yeah,
right? And
making sure
maybe
your
not a
bo-
lot of emphasis on safety or anything like that.
Sure.
You got to
So-
make sure your board's up to standard for all your dude perfect like videos that you're
Yeah.
trying to film, where you hop off the board and your homie jumps on the board like and
Yeah.
does a dab or something.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they paid out the nose to use the Overwatch font for swag board as well.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. That probably. Yeah. The Swagboard League
Totally.
is big right now.
Yep.
Pretty excited about the Fresno team.
Yeah. So speaking of fries, I wanted to get a new video card, right?
Mhm.
It's time.
And you left
time.
with a swag board.
And I left with a swag board.
That's how it happens.
That was actually on a separate trip. I went to Fry's twice this weekend. I love that place. Yeah, I just wanted to see what the video card market was like. Walked in the video card aisle. It's completely barren.
Yep.
Except for there were like 5 1070s. There was actually a 1080 on the shelf.
Yeah.
And I was embarrassed. So I had my wife go check out the price on it. Over $800.
Oh, wow.
For that damn thing.
I saw 1080s in a Best Buy a couple weeks ago.
Really?
For like stop for whatever, like the 650 or whatever. I think.
Really?
The
Wow.
regular price is.
The manufactured price, like
Or
$500-600
something around there.
Wow. Jeez, yeah, I would have bought that in a
Hmm.
second. But I got to talking with a guy who was, like furiously looking at his phone, and I figured he was doing like price matching or something.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
that.
Yeah.
And he couldn't find anything. And I'm like, yeah, man, there's no video cards out there. And he's like, you know why? Like, I gotta.
No, let me know, dog.
I got a pretty good idea
Yeah.
why. And he pulled up a picture of this, this crypto farm. That's what he called it, that he's building. And I gave that man a look,
Yeah.
and I walked away in disgust.
Yeah.
I was
Imagine if you had your swag board at that point.
I
You
know.
could
I could have
swag
just
away.
Yeah.
swagged away.
Yeah.
I did say something at the end of it. It's just like, I just want to play some games, man. But I was really upset at that guy, and I hope he didn't find a good deal.
Yeah, I thought that the way a lot of the cryptocurrency was going these days is that some of them, I guess maybe some of the altcoins haven't or something, but like that they had crossed into the territory where it was no longer profitable to mine them with 1080s, like
Really?
with the power consumption versus.
So they're going down a generation? Not
so-
generation, but
No. So it's like it's about ASICs, like
Okay.
these, about getting a big old mining box and,
Yeah.
and going a different route with it. But I guess that varies from coin to coin.
fuck if I know, man.
I don't know. It's like fucking Atari launched 2 coins last week.
Why not?
Like fucking, I opened my email. We got like 10 more coins in there.
That's a lot of coins.
It's a lot of coins. Rupees.
Did they do pack points?
Like rupees.
Puck-
Yeah,
puck-
rupee
Puck
dash E.
bucks. Puck man bucks.
No, they announced, what was it? Bushnell tokens.
Okay.
Uh,
Really? He signed
yeah.
off on that, or
Oh,
does
yeah.
he?
Yeah. It's something that they're using to fund
Nolan.
some documentary about Nolan Bushnell.
Okay.
And then they have some other token.
Yeah.
Fucking, I don't know,
Yeah.
man.
Well, they also talked about their box.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah. They showed off their box to
It's
some folks. at
Sanuya, right?
GDC.
Gross.
Well, yeah, probably.
Probably.
Yeah, we'll see.
Is
That was always
is
the
it
thing we
Android
thought it was.
based?
I don't know. We'd have
Okay.
to dig into it. They forwarded over a document that I did not pull for this podcast. That was just like, here are the facts about the Atari. They renamed it the Atari VCS,
Mhm.
and then there was something in the email that
Venture
said,
capital
"Hey,
system.
Atari has chosen to keep some
Bitmine.
details close to the vest. So just because it's not listed in this document does not mean it is not the case. There's more to say about the Atari." It was like this like weirdly kind of desperate vibe to it.
Well, they can't announce that you'll be mining Bushnell tokens while you play the games
Right,
yet
yeah.
until it's ready.
Right. Right. Yes. Fries. That's cool.
Yeah, I love
So
it.
Best
no
Buys are
video
always at
card.
Fry's.
Yeah, no video card. I ended up getting a processor though,
Mm.
8th generation, which apparently does not like it fits in my old motherboard.
Oh yeah.
Like it's a 1151
Same socket.
LGA,
Yeah.
same socket. So I thought it was good.
Oh yeah. No.
not good.
It's not,
no.
and there's no like firmware update for the motherboard or
Nope.
anything. No.
Nope.
That's-
I needed a whole new motherboard. So yeah, I spent most of my day yesterday going, why is this not working? So yeah, and then I had to go out and go to Fry's again,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, get another
another-
motherboard
yeah.
and a swag board too.
Motherboard, swag board. What more do you need?
I got an RC car,
Okay.
a little tiny RC car.
Yeah.
Those are fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
To chase Griffin around with it.
And does Griffin take the RC car while you take the swag board and see who can catch each other?
Yeah.
You're gonna run over
You
that
put the
swag
RC
board.
car on the swag board.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And do like a
That's a
jump
good
off
idea.
of it.
Yeah, that swag board's going back. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, it's,
I hurt myself.
at
It's
that
trying
point,
to kill me.
Swag.
these things are. It's dangerous.
Yep.
It's
Kids,
dangerous.
don't do it.
Let's get into Far Cry.
Okay. Yeah, please.
Yeah. Far Cry 5 is out today.
Or last
And
night,
by
if you-
today, I mean the canonical today, which means last night,
Yeah.
9 p.m. ish or 3 a.m. ish,
Mm-hmm.
if you are in some other territory because of how these games unlock around the world. I think people in New Zealand were able to play it a lot earlier. And
I downloaded it before bed.
Yeah.
And it was still technically yesterday.
yeah, that's how it goes.
Mhm.
Far Cry 5 is out. Review is up on the site. I spent, I guess, I think it took me about 16 hours to finish the campaign.
Mhm.
I spent another 4 or 5 hours with it doing other stuff, checking out other versions of the game, all that sort of stuff. Reviews up on the site. As I said,
Is that fun stuff? Are you having fun?
it's
having fun?
not especially.
God damn it.
I think it's like a pretty middling. Well, I mean, it's another Far Cry game.
Okay.
And you're kind of into that or you're not. I think they've made changes around the edges, some of which I think like kind of are like better at exposing you to the side activities. I think a lot of the side activities and quest design, like a lot of it is better and feels more organic.
Okay.
But it is still very much like that game. You know, it is still very much like there are outposts, take them over, but like the AI doesn't seem as fun in some cases. Like in a lot of cases, killing any enemy with a silenced rifle still activates the entire base
Oh, really?
in ways that just don't
weird.
make sense. And in a way that you're like, is that a bug? Like what's going on?
Right.
Like, you know, they let you buy a silencer for almost every single weapon in the game, shotguns, LMGs, all this other stuff. Like you
Doesn't
can
seem to
slap a
help
fucking
much.
silencer on it all you want. But it doesn't do much.
Okay.
You have like AI people that you can order around, so you
Yeah,
kind of
that's-
send
that's
them
kinda new.
in, and in a quiet setting, they will try to do a silent kill, which that will usually work.
Mhm.
And you'll have cases where they are walking right in front of other people, and sometimes the AI will activate, sometimes it will not. It's just inconsistent in a way that, like, you know, this is
Takes you out enough.
yeah,
Like
this is the fourth one of these. Fifth
Yeah.
Far Cry game to come out. Well, since
You counting Primal or?
3.
yeah, since 3.
Oh, sure, yeah.
You know, like 3 kind of established the modern tone for Far Cry.
Yeah, I absolutely love that game.
Yeah, it was a great game. Far Cry 4, I think, is a better game, but is also, you know,
It was definitely
very
more of the
similar.
same.
You know, kind of more of the same, but a better story, more interesting kind of side activities. Blood Dragon is cool.
Yep.
But you know, kind of a small
Yeah.
thing, different in some fun ways.
Different flavor.
Far Cry Primal, I think, was pretty middling. Just like the story, the combat, like taking it into that kind of caveman direction, I don't think really did it any favors. And there was still enough of the Far Cry formula to it that it was still kind of a bummer
Yeah.
because it was the fourth one of those in 3 years or
Yep.
you know, however many years. And so I think I was, because of the way they framed Far Cry 5, because of the setting, because of a lot of the stuff they had been saying about it, you got the impression that they understood that, like, hey, we need to really make dramatic changes to this formula,
Okay.
but they don't.
Okay.
You know, they make changes to like the player progression and stuff like that, where like, you know, previously you would earn XP from kills, you would level up, that would get you perk points that you would spend on a tree. There were a lot of prerequisites on
Pretty
the tree.
standard stuff.
Yeah. This game, they've gone in favor of like an achievement system.
Seems like the Wolfenstein
A little bit,
system kind
but
of.
a little
Okay.
bit, yeah. Where it's like if you get 10 pistol kills, you get 3 perk points. If you get 10 shotgun kills, you get
Alright.
3 perk points. And then, you know, so if you get 4,
In that case, does it force you to, not force you, but, you know, lead you to, you know, using other weapons or
yes, but like
changing up the
the
gameplay adds a little bit of variety?
it's not the weapon achievements that actually are the
Oh.
problem, because those are all pretty low. And you know, some of them are not fun because like when it's like, hey, get 10 grenade launcher kills, it's like, well, all right, I'm going to run around for 5 minutes until I
Just
find a cluster of
hopefully
guys.
find a mission or something that is
and
about
then
killing a
it's
lot
done.
of people.
and then never have to use the grenade launcher again because it's not like
Okay.
it's not a particularly effective weapon. Or like the flamethrower is the same thing of just like, I'm not going to waste a weapon slot on the flamethrower unless I am burning fields.
Yep.
Which the game does have a mission, but no Skrillex. What are we doing? What are we even doing?
Is the burn tech still really good?
Yeah, the fire's good. The fire's
Awesome.
good in that
Okay,
game.
good.
And you know, so the weapons individually aren't always that fun to use. So as a result of like trying to milk the perk points out of it, you're just like, well, okay, I'm going to switch to the rocket launcher and go do this. I'm going to switch to this weapon and go do this.
Gotcha.
And it just became a checklist thing just to kind of get it out of the way. The hassle and the part that I think is actually makes it more of a step back is that, remember the crafting system in Far Cry?
Yeah, totally.
It used to be like, I need 4 of these skins to craft this
code.
wallet. I need 4 of these to craft an additional weapon belt. And now I can hold 3 weapons. Now I can hold 4 weapons. They've done away with all that.
Oh, weird.
Animal skins are now just things you sell.
Okay, just for cash?
yeah,
Like,
just
and
for
then you can
cash.
just buy the stuff straight out?
Well, so you also, there are then now achievements tied to I skinned 4 moose, so I get 3 perk points. The same way you get 10 kills with a weapon, if you get 4 wolf skins, you get this. If you get 3 moose skins, you do this. There's fishing in the game now, which is like a deeper system
So
than
it's a JRPG.
yeah, totally. Yeah. And so it becomes like, okay, catch this many trout to get this, catch many of this fish to get this. And by this I mean perk points.
Yeah.
And then there are perks on the perk screen for you can now hold 3 weapons, you can now hold 4 weapons. So it's kind of zero sum in some ways because it's just a different way to get the same abilities,
Yeah.
but it's not as good.
This
like,
seems,
you know,
kind of like
it
an
feels like
arbitrary
it feels like
change,
busy work. It feels like you're checking things off a checklist, and it's not like I played the game I wanted to play it and got this. It's not like, oh, I need to go out and do this fun extra stuff to do this. Instead, it's like, all right, I only need to go to this hunting spot and pop this ultimate instinct
It's like you're checking
drug
off boxes.
totally, and literally they are check marked off when you're finished, you know, and so none of that stuff is especially fun.
Did you find yourself, excuse me, needing these upgrades, or was it like,
Totally.
I'm okay?
Yeah. You just to be like situationally prepared,
Yeah.
to be a proper prepper. You want to have as many guns on you at a time, so you can be like, okay, I've got my assault rifle for this range. I've got a sniper rifle for the longer range stuff. I've got a rocket launcher for when shit gets weird.
Got your barrel of food over here.
Yeah, and I've got a submachine gun for no good reason in my pistol slot, and so that you kind of want that.
Okay.
So that stuff is useful, but a lot of it ends up being the same abilities. It's stuff like, oh, well, if I get this perk, now I can do the chain takedown stuff that they've had in Far Cry for years. And it's not on a tree now. You can kind of pick and choose which ones you want. There are a few that have like very slim prerequisites. Like you can't get health upgrade 3 until you get health upgrade 1 and 2. Sensible, logical stuff like that.
Yeah. I think I'm okay with that. Totally.
It's like it's mostly zero sum, but I think the way it changes the way you play the game is kind of a step back.
Right.
Just in terms of like it just kind of, I don't know, like going out of my way to hunt specific animals for crafting a thing, like that direct relationship I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Abstracting it in this way that makes animal skins just money and kind of checking off these achievements. And there are so many different ways to get those perk points and all that other stuff.
I always like the ridiculous.
Yeah,
It's like,
it
I need 5
nullifies
bunnies
it.
to make a new satchel.
Right.
Yeah.
I liked that stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's a shame that they got away from it because it makes the hunting feel less interesting.
That's kind of a bummer. So yeah, I loved 3 an awful lot. Kind of fell off of 4 just because it was kind of samey. And I haven't touched Far Cry really since then, and I feel like I'm ready to get back
I think
in.
you're more likely to get something out of this
Okay.
than as someone who played both those games, felt that same way after 4, but also played Primal.
Okay.
Primal was kind of a breaking point for me with that formula in a bigger way than 4 ever was.
So that's encouraging to me. But also part of the enjoyment that I got was the story. I liked it.
Right.
I kind of liked the story in 3. I liked it in 4 as well.
Yeah.
But I don't know how I feel about what's going on here.
It's not great.
Okay.
They really tried. I think they doubled down on the wrong stuff. Instead of having kind of one, you had Pagan in Far Cry 4, you had Voss in Far Cry 3,
Yep.
these like charismatic characters that like when they were on screen, you were able to feel a connection to them in a way that is just like, man, these guys are fucked up.
Yep.
Like these guys are super fucked up in a way that's like almost it's kind of uncomfortable. And they did really well with those characters. They did right by those characters. Like Pagan is this charismatic bad guy in Far Cry 4. And it's like, it's fun to see him go through his shitty, weird paces. So this game has 4 characters that are trying to do that. Basically, you've got you've got Joseph Seed, the leader of the cult.
Yeah.
The game's set in Montana. If you don't know, there's a religious Christian prepper doomsday cult.
Yep.
that the game opens with you trying to arrest the leader of it.
Really cranked up though.
Like not even
super survivalist isn't no.
well, yeah. I mean, basically, the thing that happens is like the game opens with a U.S. Marshal. You're a sheriff's deputy.
Okay.
And then the U.S. Marshal has come to take in Joseph Seed because he has kidnapped some people. You know, like they've got vertically shot iPhone footage of him doing bad shit. So they're like, we've got a warrant for his arrest. Let's go. So this marshal is kind of forcing you, the local sheriffs, into this situation where like the head of the sheriff is just like, man, fuck this.
Yeah.
Like, all right, this is a bad fucking idea, but you land and basically you take him, and that's the point where it's like, this is the prophecy. The day we've been waiting for is coming. The collapse, they call it, is coming.
Oh shit.
And so it makes
They've
the
been
cult
waiting for
it
this.
makes the cult go wild and try to take over the whole region.
Oh, okay.
They want all the gas, they want all the people, they want everything.
But you have him in custody?
You have him in custody.
okay.
Think shit goes bad.
Okay.
You no longer have him in custody.
All right, gotcha. Yeah, I figured.
Basically. And so he's got 3 lieutenants under him.
Heralds, right?
Heralds, right.
Sure.
They're
not all named
do
Herald, but
no, none of them are named Herald. But
Seems like a missed opportunity.
2 heralds and a mod.
Okay.
On CBS this fall. Yeah, so basically the game gets broken up into 3 regions. There's a boss of each region.
Yep.
And you can
Like
kind
a
of
fire guy, a water guy, and an earth guy.
Yeah. And you need to build a team of monsters that are appropriate to fight them. And you become the gym leader. It's yeah, so they establish like, okay, once you get in the open world, it's like you need to take over these 3 areas, take on these 3 boss fights, and
is
then
it kind of one at a time, like you're taking over one region?
you can kind of
spread it
you
out.
can go around and do whatever you want.
Okay, cool.
Are enemies different in the different areas? Do they each have like their own style?
Slightly.
Like these are the, you know.
There's one area that is the drug area, and in that area you see these dusted cult members that just literally have dust clouds around their heads to say, I'm high on these drugs.
Yeah.
And they are more zombie-like.
Okay.
But that's kind of it. Even they'll have guns a lot of the time, and they're just a little harder to kill because of the drugs.
Sure. Makes them wily.
Yeah.
Makes them not feel pain.
Exactly.
Makes me want to kill him.
And then in theory, there's one area that is supposed to maybe have a little bit more animal conflict than the other area, but that didn't really
It's not,
really
like,
pan out.
noticeable
No.
enough.
And so yeah, it is really kind of the same. Like the moment to moment is pretty much the same across the regions. And so they try to have these 3 characters that you're building up to in these regions also be these dynamic, charismatic. But I feel like charisma is actually
splitting hairs at this point.
Charisma is the thing that they're all lacking. They all kind of have different things they're focused on, like Faith. She's the drug lady, and she appears out of nowhere and can make people do things in a way you're like, that's not how drugs work. But I guess this game's been supernatural in the past. So
Jeff, have you tried every drug?
I have.
Oh. Okay. Asked and answered.
No, I have not.
What's your favorite?
My favorite?
Yeah.
My drug of choice is choice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shit.
Free will, man.
I thought you were gonna say like mescaline. Or something.
Yeah. No, sorry. That's a street name for mescaline.
Okay.
I like Advil.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
Sugar coated.
the game does the thing where you get captured, which previous Far Cry games have done, where it's
Yeah,
like
that
in
seems
the
to be
middle
a
of the game
trope,
you get
as it
taken,
were.
and but like each area does it no fewer than 2 times.
Oh.
And so there's just constant moments. And so the drug is called the Bliss. And there are these patches of flowers. If you walk through them, the screen gets wavy, and it's like, oh, these damn drugs.
Yeah.
And then when you get to these pips on sorry, I'll back up. Each area has a meter that you're trying to fill up before it unlocks the boss fight. Everything you do in a region fills it up,
Okay.
whether it's
helping
like
people.
like saving civilians from the cult, blowing up shrines, taking on the story missions or any missions in the area.
Taking on those vans full of.
Yes, vans full of prisoners or vans full of gas, just blowing them up. Like everything you do chips away at that meter.
Yeah.
And then there are pips on the meter.
Is there really is it very visible? Like
The meter is incredibly visible. Like when you look at a mission, it'll tell
Okay.
you finish this to get 900 resistance points in this region.
okay.
And when you get 21,000 or whatever the 13, whatever that number is, you're done.
All right.
And so you hit these pips on the meter, and then it's very much like, we got to get them.
Mm-hmm.
They ratchet up the resistance in an area a little bit, which basically means there are planes flying overhead, which is buggy as all fucking hell.
Excellent.
And then you will get taken. And in one of the areas they do stuff like you hear them go, shoot them with the bliss bullets. Like they've refined the drug into a bullet that knocks you out that lets them take you.
Yeah.
And it's just like the dumbest shit. It's just the dumbest shit. So like there are like so many different times where they take agency away from you and pull you into these areas where it's like, okay, now you need to do this forced kind of thing. Now you're forced on this drug trip in this game that just is drug trip after drug trip after drug trip. Like
I feel like by like the 4th or 5th time, your character would just be like, okay, I blew up another van. I'm just gonna lay down and wait, because they're coming for me.
Yeah, pretty much. That's where it got to. Like as soon as the radio activated, I'm just like, well, you know, you can beat them, but there's just more.
There's just gonna be more.
And they eventually
That's
shoot
a
you with
huge
the bliss
bummer.
bullets, and you fall over.
I hate that. Games.
And it goes cutscene and
Like I don't mind losing player agency a little bit, like
Sure,
for major,
totally.
like you said in earlier Far Cry games,
Right.
you get captured.
They've
and there's,
done
like,
it
these
well.
Cool moments.
Yeah.
those are really cool moments.
You're out of your element. You don't have like your equipment or whatever.
Right.
And you know, like the boss is walking around giving a monologue, going crazy.
right.
But like if it were to happen several times,
it happens.
in a row,
It happens multiple times per region, and every speech in this game is terrible. Like you know, they don't spend enough time with any one of these characters for you to ever care about anything they have to say. Even the final boss, like you know, which gets a little bit more screen time than the lieutenants. It just ends up feeling really weightless. You know, the whole thing doesn't really do anything with its setting,
right.
one way or the other, and it's.
And it's perfectly primed too, though. That's the thing. Is,
Right.
You know, everything that was like marketed prior to this game coming out, it's like, oh wow, these guys are like, this is based in reality, right? You know, essentially.
Yeah, a little bit more than they've done in the
You know,
past.
we've
sure.
seen stuff like this in headlines, and yeah, it's perfectly primed to have some sort of like, not political exactly, but stoke some of those
The
fires.
game has nothing to say.
Okay.
So you know,
toothless,
like
man.
it has, it's incredibly toothless. Like it sets up all this stuff about this cult.
Yeah.
About you know, but at the same time, it hedges at every turn. So it's you know, it's good preppers versus bad preppers.
Right.
You know, it's like it's so all over the place. In one of the regions, you team up with a militia, and like I'm looking at it going like, dude, I'm a cop.
yeah.
Like militias typically, in my experience, don't want to have cops around. I don't care how fucking crazy this cult they're fighting
Yeah.
is. At some point, it's like, dude, you're still a cop.
I mean,
Still
we
the
literally
man.
had militia like control a government building last year, like, and there was
Yeah.
a whole thing with them and the cops. Like,
Yeah, it's like there's a lot of weird stuff in and around that stuff that like it breaks the logic. Not that that's like end all be all
Right.
game breaking stuff.
and like if you know, if I came to Far Cry 5, I didn't play Far Cry 5, but if I came to it in a vacuum, I wouldn't be like, oh, this game's gonna have something really strong to say about America, like
Totally.
Yeah.
because you know the previous games weren't like master classes of like, oh, Far Cry 4 is about like the geopolitical drama, you know, but the way they initially, and they cooled off on this in the marketing a little bit, like they got a little more zany,
Yeah.
but you were talking about seeing it early and that initial wave of like, hey, this is in America for the first time, and like this is,
That was very much their pitch.
it's in Montana,
Was-
it's in a named state, like
Right.
it's in this real
They tried to ratchet up
Yeah.
that tension. They tried to have it both ways. They tried to say like, this is Montana. This is serious now. And then also, and you can fly a plane with an idiot. Like it's
They can't have it.
and
both ways.
whatever. Like
They
the
need to-
pre-release stuff is what it is. Like separately from that, like on its own terms, the game tries to set the stakes high and fails.
Yeah, because I'm sure the initial part of the game is very serious, right? It's you're taking down
Right.
these like scary
It's a
cult leaders.
It's a fucking cultist throwing themselves into the blades of your helicopter to stop you from taking their leader.
Yeah,
away.
like-
you know, it's
Okay.
you look at it and go like, this is fucked up. And then immediately it's like, I'm hanging out with Wacky Science Man, and he gave me a crazy space gun for finishing his side mission, and now I can vaporize dudes. And
Yeah.
let's go wingsuiting, and you know, like all this other stuff. And so the tone is off, but also it's off on the other end too, where like it's got this really dim view of rural America on top of like it's like they wanted to go so far in saying nothing that they made sure that every single choice they made was hedged on the other side or something. So like anytime they make a reference to something, whether it's, you know, like anything truly political or whatever, like they don't take a stand on any of it. The characters in game have no real stand on it. It's just like, here's a thing I'm throwing out there.
They might as well be like making a Jim Halpert face into a camera after like something zany happens.
Pretty much. It's just like, here's this like, oh, here's a reference to some real shit. We have nothing to say about it, but you recognize it as something real that someone has at some point said something crazy, like serious about. And that stuff's just a bummer. Like it's just in terms of like this game could be a better, more complete package.
Yeah, you touched on it a little bit just now, but you were saying like they treat rural America like it's just a giant stereotype. Like everyone there is on one side or another of the like cult, but also
everyone,
all.
But yeah, everyone is wearing American flag T-shirts and hauling guns around, and at some point it's just like, what the fuck is going on?
Sounds like my middle America.
Yeah, you know, there are multiple missions in the game devoted to getting someone's truck back. You know, well, we sure missed that truck. You know, it's just like, fucking really? Like it kind of every step of the way with that stuff. Like every character you meet is like
music in reverse.
Well, yeah. Like every character you meet is like super crazy in an over the top kind of to the point of dumb way, or just straight up stupid in a way that you're like, man, this is like this is kind of fucked up. And I get that like they want it to be like this. They probably just want it to be this GTA like satire.
Yeah.
But I don't think they have the chops for it. I don't think the characters they try to write wacky work, and I don't think they work set against the main storyline very well at all. Like it's a very delicate balance that a game like for all its fucking over the top shit. I think the writers of GTA usually know where to pull the levers to try to make it the main stuff still matter.
Yeah.
Because they make it a more personal story. You know, America is not the story in GTA. It's the backdrop of Nico's story. It's the backdrop of the characters of GTA 5
which can be like a classic American story, but you know,
where in this you're just Dep. You're just the deputy. They just call you Rookie. They don't give you a name. You don't talk.
You can customize your character, right?
No, you can customize the outfit. But you you choose gender, you choose hairstyle, face, stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's a first person game. You never see it.
Sure.
And so and then on to build on top of that, they have.
I want to hear about buddies.
They have real world money transactions for weapons skins and vehicle skins and clothing in a first person game where you almost never see any of that shit.
Sweet.
Great.
But you play co-op. You can do co-op.
Yeah, you can do co-op.
Okay,
you can do co-op. There's competitive multiplayer in this.
Do
separate
co-op
mode.
and make your friend buy all the cosmetics. So you can see them.
Yeah. Let me see these. So the best time I had with this game was playing co-op and not paying any attention to the cutscenes. And if that's a game that you're looking for and you are not burned out on Far Cry as a formula, like I think this game's fine.
Okay.
In that specific context. Except that if you are a joining co-op player, you don't make any story progress.
Oh.
You'll still check off your achievement stuff. You'll still earn money and perk points that you can bring back into your campaign.
Okay.
But there's no way to actually like both progress through the story.
God, I remember seeing trailers and stuff where it's like, yeah, play through this entire game co-op.
You can.
But the other person won't get the credit. Oh man. Okay, that's weird.
Yeah.
Have you messed with have you checked in on the arcade stuff since release?
Yeah,
that stuff seems
a little bit.
cool.
Yeah. It's hard because you know you have to play basically an hour of the game before any of that stuff opens up, and then you can play co-op, and then you can play the arcade mode. Far Cry Arcade is a level editor where you can make levels like campaign style levels that you can play alone or in co-op, and there's also a competitive map maker there too, so you can make team deathmatch and deathmatch maps and stuff like that.
Oh, neat. I didn't know it was that robust.
Yeah, it's neat.
I thought it was just like creating a wacky outpost.
They've got
underwater.
They've got
you can-
assets from Assassin's Creed and Watch
some Watch Dogs,
Dogs,
some Far Cry Blood Dragon. Like they've got like buildings and stuff
pretty
like that
cool.
in there. and it's got a versatility to it that is pretty neat.
Awesome.
And your character, some of your character traits come in. You'll see on the perk tree in the campaign of like if you buy the fast swimming perk or whatever, it'll say like, also works in arcade.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
But not everything, and some of that stuff gets dictated by the map creator, where they're like,
Right.
okay,
Oh, turn off fast swimming because it's a water level.
or it'll be like you're invincible, or you don't take any fire damage, or here's the gun loadout, and it doesn't take the attachments you've unlocked in the campaign into mind because they're presetting these loadouts.
They're building it around those
Exactly,
guns,
in theory. Early days for that stuff. So like, I saw someone trying to make Nuketown the Call of Duty map. I saw someone trying to make Shipment the Call of Duty map.
Has anyone made 1-1 yet?
Not that I've seen, but that seems doable.
Yeah.
And so yeah, you can make outposts to take over. You can make journey style missions where it's just like get from the start to the end.
Yeah, we saw that one
Yeah.
in the house.
Right.
with,
There was
like-
no combat in that
yeah.
one. It was just this
It was
trippy
really
weird
cool
thing.
still.
It's like that was neat. There's a mode where it's like, oh, just kill everybody here, kill a specific target, and yeah, the creation tools. I dug into it a little bit. I don't know that I have the patience to really spend the time to do it, but it's neat.
Does it seem robust enough for the people who do really want to get into it?
Yeah, I think so. For people who want like some kind of infinite Far Cry experience,
Yeah. That's cool.
That's cool.
That's probably the thing I'm most interested in that game, which is
And
weird.
so,
but-
I mean, at some point, like maybe I played it in the wrong order or something, because by the end of that campaign, the last thing I wanted was more Far Cry.
Sure.
Because like I said, I have played all of them since 3. Or I've played all of the modern era Far Cry games.
Yeah.
I've played all the Far Cry games, I guess technically, but 2 and 1 are such different things.
Sure.
That it's hard to really consider them as part of what we're even talking about.
Mhm.
They do some smart stuff like, you don't climb towers to fill out a map. Instead, you find maps in locations that'll put points on your map, but you also, as you're saving civilians or just encountering civilians around, they'll be like, they took over the fish hatchery. We got to get over there. And that'll say, hey, that's an outpost. And it'll pop it on your map.
Yeah.
So it's like a more organic, meaningful
I like
way
that.
to
That's
like
better.
to reveal side content to you that I think is just smarter. But at the same time, in the tutorial island at the start of the game, you climb a tower and they stop to go like the guy on the radio comes on and says, "Don't think I'm gonna make you climb towers all over the county or nothing." And it's like, look, just fuck off.
Yuck,
Just don't.
yuck.
Just don't. It doesn't.
Hey, how's your dog? You get a dog in this game.
Yeah,
right?
you have companions.
Okay.
You can have like some generic companions. Like you can hire soldiers from any base, but then there are 9 specialists, and 3 of those are animals.
Okay.
And they have So there's a dog.
Is there a bear?
There's a bear.
Really?
Yeah,
What?
There's a bear named Cheeseburger.
What?
He is not named
okay.
Cheeseburger.
Yeah, his name's
Ooh,
Cheeseburger.
I'm suddenly back in on this game.
And there's a cougar.
Hey.
And then there's and then there's like plane guy and helicopter lady, and then Herc, that dipshit from the
Yeah,
other
that-
Far Cry
oh,
games,
fuck that guy.
and some other characters like that. They're
Okay.
generally kind of wacky. Like the AI, all the helper AI voice stuff is pretty broken.
Just nonsensical stuff. Like it doesn't line up with the context.
Yeah,
of
or like
what's going on.
as you unlock the ability to have 2 people at a time instead of just one, they
Okay.
start talking to each other, and
Oh.
sometimes that will stomp all over
What's currently going
cutscene
on?
dialogue. Like,
Oh,
like
really?
I'm supposed to be driving to this location for a mission,
Mhm.
and suddenly they're just like the dialogue breaks
Yep.
as it's relaying mission stuff to you. It breaks and cuts in with just like generic AI chatter back and forth.
How are Cheeseburger's lines?
Just a lot of growls mostly.
Okay.
I didn't spend much time with Cheeseburger.
I don't know what the hell you were doing.
Well, the AI was just not that engaging.
Okay.
But he's a bear.
Yeah.
Named
You
Cheeseburger.
can send them at a target.
yeah.
You can send them to a location. You
Put a
can
tutu
follow
on 'em?
you. No, there's no
Can
no
he silent?
customization.
Can Cheeseburger silent kill?
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. You can
Oh,
point them at a
Gets up
guard in the
behind
base.
him and snaps their neck.
That's basically what they all do, honestly.
Oh my
The-
God.
the dog kind of has kills that way too.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not.
Well, I
it's not
expect
too
a
far
dog
from
to do that, not a bear.
Um, Yeah, it's
really excited to get home and
But there's
Get
a lot of dialogue stuff where like you'll be in a stealth situation and your AI guys will be talking loud, like
Oh, sure.
you're in a situation where you've been spotted, and vice versa. Like
Yeah.
you'll be in open combat and they'll be talking in their stealth voices. It's just very glitchy and buggy like that in ways that like we should be like the Far Cry series, especially because they have made a lot of these by now. Like this stuff should have been ironed out. And
Jeff, that would make sense, but you forgot one key thing. You're high as fuck in the game.
That's a good,
all the time.
I mean, that's a good point. Like at some point, like the amount of like supernatural and or like mind control and or drug stuff that you experience in the game, like at some point you're like, it only makes the story feel that much more weightless because even the final confrontation has its supernatural drug element in a way that you're just like, I'm not even sure if any of the events of this happened or matter.
You just passed out when you were raiding the guy's compound. And
Yeah, maybe.
You fell into the chopper blades.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe that was me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And not in a way that like makes you think. Not in a way where that happens and you're like, man, did it even happen? Like it's more in a way of just like mechanically the game does not live up to this story beat. The characters have not been interesting enough up to this point to have earned your weird twist. And the whole thing just kind of falls flat.
Damn it.
And that's, you know, like I said, you know, they announced the game a certain way, and I think that stuff is a bummer. But I think self-contained on its own, ignoring that stuff, it just doesn't do right by its characters. It doesn't do right by its story. It's just,
yeah, I see what you're saying.
it's a bummer. But it's not unfun.
Right.
At the end of the day, like, you know, like I said, if you,
Yeah, some of the co-op stuff looks really fun.
it's fine. You know, if you, there are missions in that game that are fun.
yeah,
And
I'd like to fly around in a
taking
wingsuit.
over outposts is still
and-
fun.
Yeah.
And if you are just voice chatting over all the like fake dramatic cutscenes and stuff like that, like that's a better time. I played a little under a third of the game that way and was like, this is way better. And I did it in the area that was probably the least fun area of the three. And was still coming away from it going like, yeah, all right, well, at least I, you know, had fun conversations while I was doing this stuff.
Sure.
Yeah. So I, you know, that's Far Cry 5.
Yeah.
It has, like I said, it does have the competitive multiplayer, but the game doesn't
not sure.
really, the shooting, like it doesn't really have the chops for like a fun competitive experience.
Yeah.
It's like broken in ways that is kind of exciting, especially with all these user created maps. Because you're like, oh, here's a guy flying a plane over this very small map, very slowly looping around and trying to shoot people on the ground, and then it crashed and the plane bugged out and just kept firing.
Yeah.
Like you could stand in front of the guns and not get hit.
Yeah.
The plane had blown up, but it was perpetually stuck in the firing animation. So it was just this noisy, constant firing for the rest of the match.
Sure.
And, you know, it's not balanced and, you know, like all that sort of stuff. I'm sure, you know, the cream will rise to the top because there's a robust user rating system in there for the maps.
You put cheeseburger in the maps.
I think you can definitely put bears in the maps. I don't know. You can put like the named cult leaders in the maps too as generic AI if you want. So maybe you could use because Cheeseburger has a specific look.
Yeah.
That is slightly different from
He's
the other
his own
bears in
bear.
the game. Yeah. Yeah. So it's a bummer. I think the thing I want out of Far Cry is kind of more change to the structure and gameplay, and this feels like more of a zero sum sort of thing in most cases, where it's like, oh, it's cool that I can tackle all the areas in whatever order I want and jump around and do stuff. But like that doesn't really, it's not a meaningful change.
Right.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things. I think the big step back for me is that player progression stuff and the crafting, the hunting and crafting stuff, I think is a huge step back that made me enjoy just the moment to moment stuff a lot less. Because it didn't feel like it was adding up to anything.
Sure.
You know, you get to a point where it's just like, oh, I'm just going to leave this whole base be because like I've gotten all the weapon kill achievements here. No point in me, like I get literally nothing for killing these guys.
Whereas before you get experience. and
Right.
levels.
There would at least be like some like meaningful reason to go do it. Yeah. And then the plot, like, you know, in the first hour of the game,
Do they make these guys like appropriately shitty? Like you want to kill them?
it's hard to care.
Really?
Like they are shitty.
Yeah,
They are
sure.
doing bad stuff. But like in a way that is just like at best cartoonish.
Okay.
You know, like
That's kind of what I want.
one of the guys is the
Okay.
torture guy, and his whole thing is like, as you commit sins, one of the 7 deadly sins, he wants to carve it on your flesh and then cut it out of you
Oh.
and then
ouch.
staple it to a wall.
Ow. Dude.
Like it,
Yeah.
and you know, so it's just a lot of just
That
like,
guy deserves killing.
atone for your sins, and he looks like a low rent coke dealer. Like there's a moment early on in the game where you see this character producing basically a commercial for their cult,
Oh, really?
and you're like, man, like tonally, I want more of that.
Yeah.
Because it's just like him talking about the power of yes. And it's just like it's got this music and this whole vibe to it, but then the rest of it doesn't live up to that. And that's like very early on in the game. It's like the first thing you see after finishing the tutorial island is this thing. And you're like, man, if it leaned way more on that type of characterization and fleshing these characters out, that would have been something. But it's kind of the only thing like that in the entire game.
I was looking forward to
You know, when you get to the
cracking
girl's
shit.
place, and she's the drug lady that is keeping all the drug production going and all this other stuff. She'll just appear out of nowhere. You'll shoot an animal, it'll turn into a different animal, and you're just like, I guess I'm high on the drugs. And then
Guess I'm high
she'll
on the
take you
drugs.
away and tell you about how the father just wants to help us and all. But it's just like, it's empty rhetoric. They all talk in meaningless circles, not in a way that you're like, oh man, this cult really doesn't have it together.
Right.
It's just like, oh, the people writing this really didn't have it together. Like it doesn't have a lot to say about anything. And I think that's the not that it necessarily. And I think that's the whole thing. I think some people are hearing people say that about this game. And just saying like, well, I didn't want it to be political anyway. It's not about that.
It's not. Yeah.
It's about telling a good story.
Yeah, it's about choosing where you want to go as a storyteller and committing and building things around that, building characters around
and
that.
instead they hedge every chance they get. Like for every stance you see on one end, there's like something else over here that nullifies it or makes it weak.
Yeah.
And so the characters feel weak and meaningless. And they could have done a better job. I think they have done a better job in the past with other Far Cry games, and it's ambitious on paper, but I don't think they pull it off. And so it just merely becomes another Far Cry game.
Yeah.
At that point, and you're like, this could have actually been something special if they really nailed every single facet of it on the story front. That would have really made you want to get through it and do all this stuff and see all this side content. But instead, it's like, this is like maybe slightly better video game content than they've done in some previous Far Cry games. It is certainly better than Primal in that sense. But at the end of the day, you're left feeling like, well, I've played a lot of Far Cry games, and this one is not different enough to like stand out or matter.
Yeah, I get it.
So that's a
feel
bummer.
ya.
It's a bummer.
Yeah. It's
Reviews on the site if you want to read more about it. We're going to do a quick look of it as well because we have not done that yet. Try and do that later today if we can fit it in.
totally.
Why don't we take a break and we'll come back and talk about what everyone else has been playing after this. Marvel is unveiling its first scripted podcast ever.
What?
That's right.
Scripted podcast?
Ever.
Ever?
They scripted this podcast.
First time in history.
They had it ready. They had it veiled, and now veil off.
What was the veil made out of?
The veil was made out of adamantium.
Oh, wow. That's a stiff
Yes,
veil?
it's
That
a-
doesn't sound
it's
very
a-
comfortable.
It's not meant to be comfortable. It's meant to keep you from hearing about Wolverine: The Long Night until right now, as I'm telling you about Wolverine.
This is the first
Long
time
Night.
I'm hearing about this.
All right,
Hit me.
it's available exclusively on Stitcher Premium.
Oh.
And this gripping tale follows the story of Logan, a strange newcomer in the small town of Burns, Alaska.
Alaska. It's cold up there.
No, yeah, I mean, yeah, I think
He likes to drink a lot, though, so it's probably fine.
I feel like the Wolverine origin story, some of it is set in Canada. I forget.
That
So-
sounds right. Snow.
Alaska,
Yeah.
Canada,
Yeah. Claws in your hands.
yeah, neighbors, right there. You'll be immersed into the heart of a murder investigation, following along as special agents explore a string of mysterious deaths around town. Look, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a cop.
Yeah.
I'm not a cop. I'm
Are you
not a
sure?
doctor of cops. I'm not a
Okay.
cop doctor.
You have to tell me if you're a doctor
Okay.
of a cop.
Okay,
Doc.
I can tell you I'm neither of those things.
Okay.
But I will say, if these mysterious deaths involve people with claw marks through them, maybe look in this Logan guy's direction.
Huh.
Maybe look in this Logan guy's
Yeah.
direction.
It could be onto something.
The series stars Richard Armitage as Wolverine, who you might know as Thorin Oakenshield from the Hobbit trilogy.
He used to be a dwarf.
Well, now he's
Now he's a
mutant.
Mutant,
He's got a healing factor.
Wolverine clawed guy,
Uh-huh.
manimal.
Yeah, yes, that is 100% the on-brand description of Wolverine. It also has Scott Adsit from 30 Rock and a special appearance from comedian and podcast host Chris Gethard.
Wait, who was he in 30 Rock?
Scott Adsit is, I don't know, I've seen like 3 episodes of 30 Rock.
okay.
I don't remember.
This guy with the hat? Maybe?
Yeah, no,
No,
that's
not him.
Judah.
You're right.
Freelander.
Yes, you're right.
Scott Adsit. I know who Scott Adsit is. I
Okay.
just can't describe to you
All
who he
right.
played in 30 Rock. He was in some episodes of Mr. Show, I believe. Anyway, to listen now, go to WolverinePodcast.com. That's WolverinePodcast.com.
Got it.
And use the code MARVEL for a free month of Stitcher Premium. And we're back.
He's talking about your butt.
Yeah.
That's rude.
Yeah.
I'm admiring it.
It's not much to admire.
He's got a bunch of cameras over there.
I got a Hank Hill butt.
Yeah.
Someone said there's a lot to admire.
I wish I had like special pants that could kind of, because my butt will fall asleep if I'm sitting for too long.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everyone's does that, but mine is on a short fuse.
We can put some
Anyway, I've been playing Nino Kuni 2.
Yeah.
Nice.
We're back, ready to talk about video games. Ni no Kuni 2 is out. That game looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Seeing when I saw the new combat prior to E3 last year, I remember thinking like, this might be a little bit more up my alley than the first one was.
Yeah.
Totally.
I burnt out on that combat in the first one.
Yeah, I never even touched it because at this point in my life, it would take a lot to get me into a turn-based
Mm-hmm.
RPG.
Just how it goes sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've played a lot of them and I've had fun with them, but
Mm-hmm.
that style of combat is not interesting to me anymore. And yeah, I really like what Ni no Kuni 2 has done with the formula.
More action oriented.
Yeah, so basically, how the combat in the game works is you have 3 different melee weapons at all times and kind of swap between them in one ranged weapon, and they kind of have a Diablo style loot system in this where different
really?
swords will this sword will do extra damage if you have, it's called like cursed cutlass or whatever, and they'll do more damage if you have full HP, or there's some weapons that do fire damage and all sorts of elemental stuff. And they're kind of color coded and
But you still have access to 3 different weapons.
yeah,
so
and they
you
each kind of
change
have their
it out
own
on the
super
fly.
meter associated with them, and then when it gets to max, it'll store its super if you switch to another one.
Okay.
And so this way you can kind of always have a super ready in the chamber to unleash on a boss or a difficult enemy you run across. You got light and heavy attacks that you can kind of chain or combo. Dodging and shielding are on the same button, so if you stand still and hold it, you'll block, and if you move, you'll do a really generous dodge.
Got some good iframes in there.
Yeah, it seems to have some good iframes.
Any juggling?
No, it's more of a combo. You'll start wailing on them, and they'll wind up to do their attack, and so you'll be like, okay, now I have to get out of their
Any
way.
juggalos?
Not yet.
Okay.
I should say I'm only about 6 hours in. So
Okay, so I was gonna say the story in this game sounds wild in a way that I did not expect.
Yeah, me
Huggalos?
neither.
Any huggalos?
Did you say huggalos?
Yeah. Are there any huggalos?
What are huggalos?
I don't
Are
know.
there any weebelos?
There's higgledies.
Okay, there we go.
They're
enough.
not.
Probably huggalos.
They're not juggalo-like. They're very kind and.
So not unlike.
Juggalos can be very kind.
Yeah, I've met some very nice ones.
I guess
They're all about family.
yeah.
Specifically, I mean, well, look.
When I think about juggalos, I just think about that video of that one gathering of the juggalos where Andrew WK was on stage getting pelted by rocks and bottles, and he was just hitting them out of the air
that's
while
his
he was
element,
performing.
man. Yeah.
I know. Yeah, he was doing amazing, but I was just thinking of all the people there.
Playing a Connect game, yeah.
But okay, I'm gonna talk about the first 15 minutes of Ni no Kuni 2.
Okay, I've seen this.
If you know you're gonna play this game,
But you have not yet.
but you have not yet,
Yeah, this is kind of wild.
and you don't know anything about it,
Yeah.
don't listen to this for the next 2 minutes. But holy crap, this game. So I guess the first game was there are two worlds.
Yeah,
the game
there was
starts
a
out by
duality
telling
kind
you-
of real world and then fantasy world.
Yes.
Right.
Hearing this made me want to play this game more.
Yeah.
Before we get into it,
Okay.
for the people who have not turned it off yet,
Yeah.
if you're still kind of on the fence, this was the thing that made me actually. I'm gonna go home and install this game.
I'm gonna watch the clock. I'm gonna give myself a 2-minute warning. So the game starts out. It tells you that there's 2 worlds. One that's embroiled in conflict and one that's peaceful. And then it cuts to the president of the United States in his car, driving to some sort of peace summit in what looks like New York.
Sure.
It's not named. And he looks up the window. He's like, huh? And he sees a missile fly by him, hit the city, huge explosion, fucks up his car. He flips out, and he lands, and he's fading in and out, and he's almost dying, and he wakes up in front of the little boy king, who you've probably seen if you've seen the game. It's the short boy with blonde hair, the king of Ding Dong Dell himself. And you're like, oh shit, this castle's under siege. And so you're chasing after this kid, trying to get some answers. And he runs up to 2 guards, and he's like, help me. And they try and kidnap him because they're evil. And they're about to swing down on this kid, and the president pulls out his gun and shoots them.
He's got a fucking gun.
Shoots them both to death. And then you play as the president of the United States with a gun and a sword.
That's I'm
Not
sold.
since Metal Wolf Chaos.
Yeah.
That is-
Honestly, I was completely shocked by that. I'm going to call the end of that spoiler zone there.
okay.
Ding
Ding, ding, ding.
Dong Dell, actually.
Oh, you're right.
But yeah, the story seems very cute. Other than that, like, it seems kind of typical not typical fantasy, but lighthearted.
The original game was
fantasy.
extremely just saccharine, like a very, very like young tone. I
Yeah.
guess, to like all the
Young
dialogue.
tone.
Young tone.
He's got a swag board.
This seems to be a little more mature, perhaps. I'm not sure where it goes after.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna
the
say, like, so
gunfights.
that's a the moment you described, which we are done talking about. For those of you who hit the skip button on your podcast thing, like, it sounds like it could set the tone for a much more serious story. But do you
It's
find that
walking
kind
a
of
line.
settles? Okay,
Like, the general tone is, your kingdom is in chaos. Work towards reclaiming it and work towards peace, right? Like, so that's kind of like you're going around and you're helping out like people in need, and they're kind of in turn helping you out. It seems like it's like a lot of the humor is geared maybe a little younger. It's none of it is bad.
Yeah. Well, by younger, you don't mean like dumb the way that some younger content can
No,
seem.
like a little
It's more that it's like just kind of,
or just a little like, oh, I could see this joke. The punchline
it's
to this
light
joke
in a way
coming.
that maybe all ages might be the better. Like,
Yeah.
it's not like super violent or super crazy in any
No,
way.
no,
right?
and like even the tense moments are like somebody's in danger and things are a little tense, but then there's a pretty decent resolution. Like, it never gets too scary, I think. I would say that, like, playing it does feel maybe a little geared towards a slightly younger audience. I have not had any difficulty with the game. The closest I've come is like I've lost half health in a boss battle, but then I used a healing item for the first time. Because you kind of get health back as you play. As you hit enemies, they'll kind of drop health. And there's various ways to recover in battle and outside of battle even. There's like waystones that'll heal you, and you can save at those, and they're fairly generous.
But would you call the combat, like, is it up to the standards of like an action game at that point,
So-
or does it still kind of feel rooted
Yes.
in like an RPG?
It feels like a if you're familiar with the Tales games, it feels like an
Yeah.
evolution of that.
Yeah.
It's active. You're moving around. You're locked onto enemies, and you can change who you're targeting. There's a jump that's a pretty good jump. It's not like a weird RPG jump where you have a bunch of startup or weird
Right,
landing
yeah,
animation.
yeah.
It feels like an earnest jump.
A gameplay focused jump.
Yes, like for you to knock down flying enemies, you have to jump up and hit them with a light attack, and you knock them out of the air.
Cool.
And very simple combos like light, heavy, light, heavy. There's kind of like
Ragged Tree,
near like chain like combo trees, but not that intense. Or
Sure. Let me back up a second. Is the main character the president?
so you can flip around. Whoever you have at the top of your character roster is who you're controlling. So you
Okay.
could control any of the 4 characters, and then the other you'll have a party of 4. So you're
The gameplay
controlling
that I've
your
seen with
person.
like the young king,
Yeah.
the cat kid, he like summons a bunch of like familiars and stuff, and those are all like elemental based.
Well, so
That seems very different than how the president plays.
every character has their melee weapons and ranged weapons, and then a series of 4 different skills.
Can anyone use gun?
No, only
the
one
president's been
character
trained in
can.
pulling the
Yeah,
trigger.
yeah.
That's
And then you find like blunderbusts and stuff like thematically appropriate weaponry.
right.
But also, so you'll unlock this soon, Jason. You said you were like an
Still
hour
the
or so
tutorial,
in. Yeah, it does have a fairly lengthy tutorial. I will say it was probably like about the first 80 minutes. I'd say I fought 4 to 5 battles.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but then after that,
that's about-
got it for RPGs.
Yeah,
it's like
that's about
on
right.
track.
Sure.
There were some like weird sneaking situations that I've
Yeah,
gone through.
I
and,
haven't
like
come across another one.
another
of
one.
those.
Okay, yeah, because I did it the first time, and I'm like, this is really not that fun. So
Yeah.
the second time I was presented with it, I was like, no, I'm just gonna go fight these dudes
Yeah.
and kill them with my gun.
You talk about being able to kind of change your playable character amongst the members in your
Yeah.
party. Does that impact dialogue? Will it be like will you talk to characters as your lead character, or do the kind of cutscenes and dialogue just kind of
They all just your control, like your character will change who you are on the map running around.
Okay,
but when you enter a cutscene, it's usually like all your characters are
Right.
standing there and will talk, and then they'll talk to each other in the party, like
Yeah.
as you play, like as you run around. Characters will be like, "Hey, this land is famous for this thing," but then the environmental thing that you probably saw were the Higgledies, which I love the Higgledies. You come across this old lady. Basically, and she's like, "Oh, you can see my," everyone in this game has a
Are
weird.
you looking at my Higglies?
I shouldn't say weird. Has a foreign accent.
yeah.
Except maybe the main character. She's this little old, I think, Scottish lady, and she gives you one of her Higgledies, and basically you can So I'm not. This game has a lot of systems going on.
Interesting.
It doesn't seem like you need to master all of them. I'm doing just fine with my limited understanding of a lot of things right now.
So I
I'm
could just play like as the president, have that very like melee focused
Yep.
combat, and then just let the kid do his summon stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. So the Higgledies join your party, and they will. So there are hero. You can have a team of Higgledies in addition to your party.
Hero Higglies?
Okay.
Hero Higgledies, and they each have different traits, and you mix and match your Higgledies. You want they tell you you'll want an aggressive one and a shy one because they'll balance each other out.
Hang on. Are Higgledies, are they like cats? Or are they like
They're
tiny
like little.
spirits?
They're
are
like
they
the
ghost people?
They're like ghost Pikmin.
Okay.
You know when a Pikmin dies?
Yeah.
They look a lot like that.
Okay.
Whoa.
They don't talk. They say like Higgledy Diggledy Dee and stuff like that.
Just like me.
And so they'll run around in the battle and some of them will do a little attacks and some of them will do little heals, but then sometimes they'll activate. And so what happens is so all the fights take place in like a big circle arena, and they'll form little circles on the ground. And if you run up to those circles and hit X, they'll do like their Higgledy special. So the first guy you get makes a big cannon appear, and it'll just shoot like some cannons at whoever you're targeting. Or
right.
another one will do like a heal spot. It'll turn the spot into like a healing pad, and your
Yeah.
characters can run there and heal.
That's cool.
That sounds really fun.
So yeah, that adds another layer to the battle where like I'm not. So initially I was just run up and mash, light, heavy,
Right.
whatever, and then dodge out of the way.
Yeah.
But now I'm taking a more like tactical approach to the battle because I'm watching for these Higgledy spawns. I'm watching where my parties are going. I feel like there's a lot to do in battle where you don't just have to mash your way through, but you totally can if you're just like, oh, it's just another battle with like a low level enemy. I'm just gonna. You don't have to like be running around and doing all that stuff.
Did any of you play the first Ni no Kuni?
Yeah. Well, I did not actually hands on. My wife played through it in
Yeah.
entirety, and I sat by it.
I was gonna say like a lot of the stuff sounds like a fairly big departure from what I
Definitely.
remember of the first Ni no
Combat-wise,
Kuni.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first one is a little bit of a slog. Just
It's all charm, like
Yeah, yeah.
or not all charm, but like that's the thing that keeps you going through it is just the look of it and the charm of the characters and stuff. Is how I remember it. But
Yeah, this is still super heavily Ghibli vibe.
Yeah.
Like you hook up with some sky pirates pretty soon out the gate, and it's very like what Pomposo? What's the pig? The
Porco
Porco
Rosso.
Rosso.
Poco Rosso. Like heavy Poco Rosso vibes from that one. Just like, and not in a bad way.
Yeah.
And like in a way that like if you were to ask them to their face, they'd probably be like,
Hey, we made that. Yeah,
hey, it's
you know, the
popular
things-
movies,
yeah.
like. But I think they do a really good job with it. Like all the characters are super charming. That I've met at least so far.
Animation's been great. Music's been good so far.
Cool.
Yeah. So I'm just having a really good time with it. I haven't enjoyed a I feel weird even calling it a JRPG.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of JRPGs, that are coming out recently have adopted that
Yeah.
like Western style,
They
more
kind of get it
action-oriented.
that people are.
Yeah, like-
are
like
That's
the
what
strange.
Tales
Final
stuff.
Fantasy was trying to to tap into that in a way that I
Yeah.
wish worked better.
Yeah.
Um,
But this is the most I've enjoyed one of those since like my first time playing a Tales game.
Cool.
And yeah, I think that this is like a pretty good standard for what a modern one of these games should look like. Like it's like I said, it's a little easy. I am still relatively early, so we'll see
Yeah.
if it does get a bit more challenging. But that being my only major complaint with the game, like I just love looking at it. I love the music's great. Like it's sometimes it feels like it's a little bit at odds with what's happening. Like there's this really intense music as you're just kind of walking down a canyon, but it's still good and entertaining.
My son hates it. He hates the game. He hates watching it. He hates looking at it. I don't know if he's afraid of people with cat ears or something. I
Good.
thought he'd be super into it. He
It's a-
likes
yeah.
Calicos.
Instill that early.
And he's like, yeah, that's the kitty game. He loves Monster Hunter because of the kitties. So I thought that he'd be into this, but no, he can't stand it when I'm playing it. So
It's
I
a
gotta-
scary rat, man.
Yeah,
Have
something.
you tried showing him Studio Ghibli films?
Yeah, he's not super into that. He's into weird shit, like Tim Burton-esque stuff.
Okay.
Like he loves
Videodrome.
Yeah,
There we go.
Videodrome.
You know.
Like he loves Coraline. He loves this figure of foe, and it's all like really kind of weird, off-putting stuff. It's the kid's kind of cool. He's into some cool
Pretty neat.
stuff, but
Cool.
yeah, this might be too.
Well, I don't
sugary for
know
him.
a damn thing about the Tales games.
Yeah.
I don't know jack shit about any of those systems.
I picked one up for the first time
Yeah.
randomly and loved it.
But some part of this reminds me of sort of Vermilion, which is a game that I
man.
think a lot of people
Wow.
think is bad now.
Yeah, it is.
But I remember
is.
really liking it when it came out.
It was bad
So-
then, but I played an awful lot of that.
Yeah.
It's nothing like that.
Okay.
Nothing like that game.
Well,
But
that's got action combat.
Sure.
You know, it's like here's this kind of very standard role-playing game that suddenly, when you get into a fight, it is
Yeah.
you walking around a screen, stabbing stuff. And at the time, I was like, "Oh hell yeah!" Like they
That
put a video game into
that
this
was
thing.
a hell of a departure. Yeah.
Oh,
and
not good now though.
Yeah, I
Okay.
keep meaning to go back to it,
Yeah.
just because
Just,
I know
just live in that memory. Just live in
the
it.
wider opinion of it has definitely changed. But I would like to see it for myself.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
yeah. I am gonna see it through at least for now.
What about if you're gonna see that through? What about Sea of Thieves?
Oh.
Oh,
Arr, yeah.
gonna.
You're not gonna see
I'm
that
not
through.
gonna really-
No.
Have you touched any more Sea
Yeah,
of Thieves since we recorded?
Where'd
So
you leave my
we-
character? You used my character.
Yeah, I was using your character
Okay.
initially for when we were recording our quick look.
Mhm.
And I played about an hour before that and a little while after that, and then I played again
You didn't get me
this
banned
weekend.
or anything, did you?
No, I played with
Okay.
my own character this
Okay, good.
weekend. I have played maybe roughly 5 hours of the game, and I still literally haven't run into another non-squad human.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a
Really?
huge bummer because
Yeah.
I am seeing so many stories of just these amazing things that people are coming across, and I really want, like, I don't want to not like the game. I want to
Yeah.
have pirate fun with my pirate friends.
Yeah.
But I just want to sail the seas and get some treasure and some booty and
Well, the good news, because that's all there is in that game.
Yeah.
And
It's all booty.
but I want to earn my booty. I don't want to like just go on mindless quests and shoot stupid skeletons. I want to like steal it from other pirates and
I don't want that.
That's how you earned it.
yeah.
You're okay. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's a shame that Brad's not here this week. Maybe he'll talk about it next week. But I got the impression from seeing some stuff from him over the weekend that he finally had some moments in that game that
Okay.
were
Okay.
that were the big multiplayer
Pirate-esque.
pirate moments of jacking fools and taking their shit. Because like you, I have seen one other boat the whole time I've been playing the game, and I'm done. I
Yeah.
like honestly, like I still have it installed. There's some part of me that's in the back of my head, like, oh yeah, maybe it'd be fun to get back to this someday.
I
But
reactivated
it's just not gonna
I
happen.
reactivated Xbox Gold for this.
Yeah.
Well, you got that for a year, and then you did the Game Pass thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah. Well, they got you.
yeah,
They
it's
got me.
Mission
got you
accomplished.
for a year.
Yeah, I've put a number of hours into that game, similar to yours, probably somewhere around that number, and every one of those hours has just been sailing alone or with us with our crew for recording stuff and all that, and just like my time with the game has been so flat that it's just like there's other stuff I could be playing. There's so many games coming out every day
Yeah.
that the idea of spending more time with this one in the hopes that something changes is just that's not I just don't have time
Yeah,
for
like
that.
the thing is, I don't necessarily need this game to have a deep progression system. Like it'd be cool, that's the kind of game that I like, but I don't need every game to have that. Like this game, like if it, I don't know what it would do. I'm not a game designer, but it feels like it's just missing one key thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that thing is. It could be a progression system. It could be like easier interaction, like easier ways to interact with strangers. It could be different mission types or enemy type. Like
Right.
there's so many
I
things.
feel like the answer is that it's gonna need all of those things and then some.
Yeah.
And so that said, one of the things they announced they were working on putting into the game was a death penalty that would take gold away from you when you died.
Oh, great.
That doesn't sound fun.
And like that was one of the first things that they put on their list.
Making things more miserable for players.
Right. Yeah. In this game where the progress is already
Damn.
pretty slow and all this other stuff, to have that be the one lever they want to pull this early on seemed crazy. The world let them know, and the story from Heather Alexandra on Kotaku saying that they have walked that back.
Okay, good.
So there's a quote here from Joe Neat, the executive producer, saying, "Hey, just wrote on Twitter, letting everyone know we've heard the feedback about, and the proposed death cost is, well, dead. We messed up with the messaging around this, and it's now gone. Thanks for the honest feedback and discussion on this." I like that.
You're welcome.
At no point does he say the idea itself was a bad one. I was like,
No,
the
it
messaging was so wrong.
It was actually you guys
miscommunicated.
that
you guys got it all wrong, and we had to.
It
pull
was going to
back.
be really good. You were actually going to get
It was,
things.
it was
going to
fix the game, but all right, if you guys don't want us to fix it, yeah, that's a real weird phrasing. But hey, that's still probably the right move for a game that I feel like still needs so much before you get to something like that. The very idea of this game where progress is fleeting and meaningless in a lot of ways, to have that be an early focus just seems so baffling to me.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, that would actively deter me from playing that game.
totally.
Yeah, like it's a game where you're kind of supposed to be experimenting and
Right.
fucking around
Yeah.
and
So theoretically, the cool thing about this game in its current state is if they wanted to spend a bunch of time and periodically add improvements and mission variety and stuff like that, because there's no huge progression system, theoretically people can jump in at any time. You could be like months from now and they do a huge update and I'm going to be like, oh, I don't feel behind. I'm not like level 6 and everyone else is level 40. Like I'm going to hop into random squads and be useless. So I'm really interested to see because they haven't announced any other sort of
I haven't really seen a good roadmap from them on stuff, but
I don't know if I'm curious if they see this as a success.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was successful enough at launch to have server problems.
Yeah.
For whatever that means.
Yeah.
It did decently on UK charts, I was seeing.
Mm.
Beating Ni no Kuni.
And then some of those numbers we'll never know.
Yeah.
Because it's part of the Xbox Game Pass and all that sort of stuff. Like, I'd be curious to know if it's moving the needle there, because that seems like the best thing this game could do if it gets people into Microsoft's ongoing service.
So you're saying they made the game bad on purpose so you would get Game Pass?
I mean, they made the game a service, I feel like this is the right time to roll out, because this is the first new game as part of Microsoft saying all its first party stuff will be day and date on Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah.
And having this game a service-based game that is meant to be something you play for a long time in theory, that gets updated over time, rather than like rolling out a ton of DLC or all this other stuff, like having it be part of this larger service, I think makes sense.
Yeah.
But for me, the quality of the game just isn't there. So it's hard to recommend for $10 a month, $60 for like any part of that. The balance doesn't feel right to me right now. So
I agree.
We'll see. And then Ben, you wanted to bring up Vermintide.
Yeah, I've been playing a lot of Vermintide.
That game is really fun.
Just checked, and I'm at 60 hours, which
Cool.
seems
Holy
right.
smokes.
Yeah, so basically, if you don't know how the game works, you have 5 different classes, and you kind of you have 5 different characters, and each of them has their own subclasses. But as you level up the character, there's kind of one character level, and every 5 levels. So I play the dwarf character, who's kind of, well, you can spec him in different ways, but he's kind of a tanky. He's kind of a tank.
Even his subclasses are kind of tanky,
one is like kind of ranged focused, one is tank focused, and one is melee focused.
Okay.
You can kind of. I've been going with the Iron Breaker, which is the tankiest one.
All right.
But so I reached level 30, which is the current level cap. And there's a lot of things this game does really right with its progression, and a lot of things that are baffling. So I think this game is actually one of the best games I've seen for loot boxes. I know that's like
All right.
Yeah,
Fine.
right.
Wait.
so it actually handles its loot stuff in a pretty clever way where every time you level up you get a chest. Every time you complete a mission you get a chest, and then while you're completing a mission there are optional pickups, tomes and grimoires, which each have negative effects, but the more you find of them the better your loot box is at the end. So there's kind of a reward for like playing through with these modifiers, right? It's like you're good enough to handle it and like get all these grimoires, which are going to reduce your max HP or take up your healing slot items and stuff like that.
Crazy.
And so you feel like, and you have a tangible reward for doing these more difficult challenges, which I think is great. And there's no real money. You can't buy loot boxes. You can't put a cent into the game right now. I always have to clarify.
Yeah, you never
right
know.
now.
You never know.
So that stuff's really cool. And like every 5 levels, you get a different talent, and you can choose from 3 different talents, and they all spec in different ways. The bummer comes though when you hit the end game. So first of all, when you hit level 30, you don't get anything. You get a chest for leveling up, and that's it.
Yeah.
You don't get like a talent
There's a
point.
prestige skin for like let everybody know that you're
or like
you put in the time.
even a talent point, because every 5 levels, like you think like
right.
the
Yeah,
maximum
yeah,
one
yeah.
would be this like really cool ability
Yeah.
you unlock or something. So that was my first minor bummer. And then I realized, so there's 4 different difficulties, and they're each gated behind your hero power. Like you need to have 0 to 100, and hero power is like kind of your loot score.
Okay. So yeah.
So like, which you get from both gaining levels raises it automatically, and then your equipment will also raise it.
Okay.
First tier is like 0 to 100. Second one's 100 or max 200, max 300, max 400.
Okay.
Okay.
But the problem lies in, and the differences between difficulties are the strength of the enemies, the frequency at which like special. So if you've played Left 4 Dead, special infected
Right.
spawns, kind of like the harder to kill enemies with
Right.
like
Yeah.
they'll fuck you up.
Mhm.
And like health pickups are fewer for each difficulty tier. The difference between the 3rd tier of difficulty, which is champion, and the 4th tier, which I believe is legend, the only difference is you get more experience on legend. It's not even better loot score, because it says like your max.
So if you're
max
maxed
power is 300, and then for that when max power is 300, but by the time you're good enough to take on those legendary missions, chances are you're max level.
Yeah.
So
That seems like an oversight. Wow.
yeah, it seems like I've hit this point in the game that I've been striving for to be like max level. I'm still not max hero power. It caps out at 600, so
Okay.
like I can still find loot to get me there, and then you unlock a special tier of weapons apparently at that tier.
So what if you take in a different character?
So I mean that's
yeah.
kind of the only thing I have left is to start leveling up other characters,
Right.
which you kind of want to do anyway because you can't have 2 of the same in any game. And
Right.
like if you like try and queue up with your friend who's in a party and they already have a dwarf, like I'm like, okay, well I guess I'll go to my second most played.
God,
Does that
happens
does
to
that
me
feel
all the
like
time.
does that feel like why the subclasses exist? Because like
Right.
if you're just like, let's say you like the dwarf, but really you're the best at being a tank, does it mean that there's going to be one tanky subclass?
You can't even have two of the different subclasses. Like you can't have 2
No,
dwarfs at
I
all.
know that, but I
Oh,
mean
you
like,
oh,
does
yeah.
does the other character have a tank spec?
Yeah,
So you
totally.
can still kind of play the same role even if you have to play a different character.
Yeah, because there's
Okay.
like 2 kind of melee focused guys. Kruber, he's like the general. He's just like the guy with the big curly mustache, and he screams a lot about murder.
That's great.
He has a tanky subclass, so I'll be like, oh, we don't need. And then like a 3rd guy might be another melee like DPS guy, and so it's like, okay, at this point I can hop out to the Slayer class and like dual wield axes and something like that. So yeah, that is a neat thing you can do. I just right now wish there was more late game stuff to do, because other than playing
For your specific character.
for my
yeah.
specific character, and I have some friends who've reached 30, and it's like, well, we could run through these legendary levels that are harder, and like the reward of us beating them will feel good, but
Right.
no sort of
No loot
tangible
bonus. That's weird.
upgrades. Yeah.
Huh.
So I'm going back. I'm still playing it. I still think it's a tremendous game. Like if you had fun with Left 4 Dead
I did, yeah.
and you like the idea of just dealing with hordes of enemies and also, you know,
It is fun slashing
teamwork.
through those dudes.
yeah,
for real.
it's really like I switched to a two-handed weapon. I never typically play like big slow weapons in like first-person melee games. I like kind of like dual blades
Right,
and stuff like
yeah.
that.
Oh,
It's
man,
really
give me a
rewarding
big-ass
because you
hammer.
just do one swing and the horde like flies off to the side. There's some really good dying rat animations of them just like
Yep. Some ragdoll shit.
flying in the. Yeah, it's and like on harder difficulties, you really do have to play like a team. Like it reminds me of Dota in a way where I am working with, and even the strangers I've been queuing up with
Yeah.
have been tremendous. I've had like one really negative experience, and in 60 hours, that's
cool.
really cool.
Wow.
The only thing that's really keeping me from playing this game is how intense it is in that like you can't pause, right?
Yep.
You know, and that's expected in a multiplayer game like this. But
Right.
when you're talking about like a level being like 45 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, some of the boss levels can get up there.
Yeah, and you can't control when like, you know, the new spawns come in.
Because that's the
Yeah,
thing, like
it's
if
intensive.
you know, you'll hear. So basically, how the core gameplay works is you'll hear like a big horn, and that means the horde is coming.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's like, okay, let's
Yeah,
find
that
like
thing.
a nice little choke point and hold this location and kill a bunch of rats, and then you kill those rats. And at that point, you can take like a second breather, heal up
Yeah.
and stuff. But if you just stand around, you're gonna
Another
hear that
one.
horn
It's
again.
still gonna come. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a detriment to me.
when we streamed it, I had a
do
great
that.
time playing it, and then haven't touched it since because like it was this feeling. It was like, well, I don't want to drag some team of strangers down. You're way like leveled way past me, and so it's like I'm, you know,
And
like,
man,
I feel
I'm
like I
trying
feel
to-
like I'm definitely missed my window with that already.
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel like at this point you'll have a decent number of people in my spot who are like trying to level
Level up, look
up
yeah.
lower
Right.
characters, and they might. I haven't seen this happening, but you might run into people who like know the spots of all those grimoires and tomes
Right,
that I was
and they
telling you
very
about,
much
and-
want you to get them, and I'm like, I don't necessarily. I
And
don't
some of
feel
them are
ready
like
for getting
weird
these
3D
yet.
platforming jump puzzles
Yeah.
that are like really hard to make if you don't know the timings. Like, yeah. So I could see that being a problem for new players. You know, they've already announced that they're bringing out some new content in April. So that's fairly quick because the game just came out
Right, yeah.
last month or even this one. I can't remember, but that'll keep me interested. You know, more maps. At that point, it's less about the loot and more about like seeing, because there's some
Yeah,
really
just
cool
here's
set
some
pieces
new stuff. Yeah.
in these, and
Seems like it.
and some really cool, like, the game has tremendous lighting, so all the cave levels like have really cool flames and green fire and stuff like that.
Is this only on PC right now?
I believe so.
I think I don't know. I keep seeing it like on like Xbox, but I think it
might not
took
be
a while to
out
come
yet.
to consoles.
I
but-
forget. We could look it up, but
Yeah.
but I don't actually know for sure.
That's all
I think it is coming if it is not there already.
Right.
Yeah,
All right. Well, that sounds cool.
yeah, like it.
Let's take another break. We'll be back in a moment. Stay tuned. Today's show is brought to you in part by Squarespace.
Them.
That's right.
They
of
the websites.
Uh-huh.
Cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Building websites.
Building websites. Are you ready to start a new business?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, you are. You can make it stand out with Squarespace. That's right. They've got beautiful templates created by world-class designers. They make it easy to turn your idea into a new and unique website. That's right.
Like none other.
Yes, a website all your own.
A website like they have never seen before.
That's right. They will look at this website and say, I've never seen this website
never
before.
on the World Wide Web has this existed.
That's right. Maybe they will bookmark it.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Put it in your bookmark bar.
Uh-huh.
Then it's just there all the time.
Yeah, it's a click away from
Yeah.
this unique website
Yeah.
that might showcase your work.
First
or
and only of its
blog.
kind.
That's right. None to follow.
Yeah.
This is it. The last website you need is your website. You can customize whatever you want from look and feel, settings, and products. It's all optimized for mobile, so if you want to bookmark it on a phone,
Yeah.
it can work there too.
Just keep it loaded all the time. Keep it in a tab.
Do you bookmark websites?
Not really.
I mean,
Like
yeah.
a handful of work ones.
There are some that I did years ago, but I just type
Yeah.
in the first few letters of a thing, and that's just
That usually works.
my workflow.
Yeah.
has changed.
I'm with you.
You can use Squarespace's analytics to help you grow in real time. There's nothing to install or patch or upgrade or anything like that.
Analytics, then I can see if anybody's trying to copy my unique website.
If you see people hitting your website a lot and then suddenly see another website go up that looks a lot like it.
I'm going to look at this column of data. It's going to say websites like yours.
That's right.
And then it's going to say 2, and then I'm going to get mad.
That's right. Then call the internet cops.
Yeah.
If you do have a question while you're doing this website thing, Squarespace has award-winning 24/7 customer support that's there to help. Yeah. Ready to help you.
That's friendly.
Destiny is calling.
Wait.
It says you need a new website.
That DLC's not out.
Yeah, well, make it with Squarespace. Head to squarespace.com for a free trial. When you're ready to launch, use the offer code BOMBCAST to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. That's squarespace.com, offer code BOMBCAST. So, Jason, do you think you will exchange your skateboard
For money,
for a different?
that's what I'm going to do.
All right.
No, this was a bad idea.
You're not going to get
This was
a
a-
higher grade
No,
swag board
I mean, you
replacement.
probably wouldn't have fallen if it was one of the
Yeah.
you're
super
probably
expensive
right.
ones.
If I got that Meepo or that boosted board, yeah, probably.
Does the swag board have the cut-in handle into it
On
like the
both
Meepo does?
sides,
Oh,
on both
wow.
sides.
Swag.
Yeah,
Yeah.
swag.
That's definitely swag.
No, I thought it would be practical, just to zoom down to Bart and, no, this is not if I'm going to die.
No, yeah,
that's not practical.
Just wear armor.
Oh, that's probably
shit.
yeah.
Hmm.
Wear just full wrist armor.
Some sort of
all the time.
blunt armor, not like piercing
Mhm.
armor.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, unless I want people to get the hell out of my way.
Yeah.
Then, I get the spike shoulder.
Yeah.
Put that up front. I ride Goofy Foot, so I'm this way.
Speaking of spike shoulder, why don't we get into the news?
Bang, 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 bang. Here we are.
Top story. Breaking news at this hour.
Oh.
Spanish-speaking YouTubers got together and took Drake and Ninja down a peg.
Finally.
Yeah, someone had to do it.
Yeah.
And it is El Rubius.
El
who has-
I was always saying it's going to be El
Rubius.
Rubius.
Yeah, everyone knew it would be El Rubius. Who has
How-
28 million
That's a
subscribers
lot
on
of
YouTube.
pegs
Yeah.
down.
How many play buttons is that?
That's I don't know. You get like a play blimp or something at that many
Yeah.
views or whatever it is. I don't know. Anyway, El Rubius gathered together 100 of the top Spanish-speaking Fortnite players on YouTube,
Whoa.
and they streamed. And El Rubius's channel alone, according to this Kotaku story, 1.1 million viewers.
That's so many pegs.
Live.
on YouTube, right?
on YouTube.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
then it doesn't count. Yeah, it's
Totally
got to be on Twitch.
No,
I saw a lot of Ninja defenders being like, "Oh, it's not on Twitch. It doesn't count.
Oh, really?
Not doesn't count."
I was kidding.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
they're like
Okay.
it's a smaller platform. Twitch is a smaller platform than YouTube. It doesn't count. It's a smaller audience.
if Ninja was on YouTube.
That's a really weird way to defend it by saying he's streaming on this garbage dump anyway. So what? What are you even saying
Twitch
at
is
that
not a
point?
garbage
Twitch,
dump.
Twitch is that's what they're saying.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Not
All right.
me.
All right.
Twitch is plenty big, and also brought in a lot of people who probably didn't have Twitch accounts to
Yes.
watch that Drake thing.
Definitely.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of millions of people.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
when I checked this yesterday, the archive had 15 million views on it.
Jeez.
So
Unreal.
that's big shit. In theory, all those other channels were streaming too, so that's probably a lot more views on top of that.
Oh, totally. Yeah. But yeah, 100 people getting together. Wow.
So
yeah.
I guess the
That
takeaway
was
there
full-
is that
full-ass
this
room?
Fortnite thing seems like it might be a thing.
I guess so.
Were they playing well, though?
Fucking, I don't know.
Okay.
Does it matter at that
I
point?
guess not.
I mean,
Yeah.
if they're the 100 top Spanish-speaking Fortnite players,
I don't
you have
know.
to
I think
assume-
they were
may have
just like
been-
one. I think they were Spanish-speaking Fortnite-loving YouTubers, but it wasn't
Oh, okay.
necessarily like the top players.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm sure there were some good ass Fortnite players in
yeah,
that game.
sure, almost definitely.
Like you don't become very popular on Twitch unless you're either extremely good at the game or very personable and funny and kind of good at the game.
Yeah,
Do you know if this was for
I get by
just
by just
one
being very
game
good at
or
the
like
games,
yes.
like an entire session, multiple games?
Uh,
Like, I wonder
it-
if all
the-
those other those streamers.
I could tell you the
uploaded their
length
match.
of the video. And the
Of-
length of the video was, I think, it was 3 hours. So it was
Okay,
definitely multiple
yeah.
matches.
just one match.
Yeah, so that's another big weird milestone for Fortnite.
Damn.
Meanwhile, from Epic, GDC was last week, and they had a State of Unreal talk.
Forgot to talk about GDC stuff.
Yeah, it's it happened.
It did.
They did a thing.
Yeah.
And
I played some stuff.
Yeah. Epic got into the state of Unreal. And so Tim Sweeney was out there talking to GI.biz, basically saying that in his view, cross-platform multiplayer is inevitable.
Yeah.
For the industry, not necessarily just talking about Unreal or just talking about Fortnite or anything in particular. But he's got a quote here that I think makes a lot of sense. Tim Sweeney, you might remember, he is the creator of the damn Unreal Engine.
Yep.
Tim Damn Sweeney. But more recently, I think some of the headlines that his name got attached to were, saying like, hey, Microsoft is building a store into their platform. That's a problem. Steam is a weird thing. Like, hey, look out. That sort of stuff has kind of been somehow he's made the news lately.
Good thing we listened to him on that stuff.
It's I saw a lot of people coming out of GDC. There was a talk about Steam and how small games on Steam they do not sell. And it seemed like there was a general vibe saying like, hey, there needs to be more Steam alternatives, not less.
Yes.
Just to kind of spread some of that stuff around a little bit.
A little more, a little more agnostic.
Yeah. Which I think makes sense. Anyway, he's got a quote here that again came from gamesindustry.biz. It says, I think it's inevitable now. Games have become social experiences in the same way that Facebook or Twitter have, and these experiences only really make sense if gamers can communicate with all of their friends. For Sony and Microsoft to support their customers well, they have to be open to all their customers' friends, their real-world friends. Otherwise, they're breaking up real-world social groups. Like kids in school have their friends, and do you expect the platform schism to divide them into two separate groups that can't play together?
That's how the world works.
No, it's got to come together now.
Oh.
That one remaining barrier will inevitably come down.
But those PlayStation kids, like, they hate the Xbox kids and vice versa.
Like,
that's the real world.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
But
everyone's just on their phone now.
But that doesn't mean they don't want to play together to prove it.
No, I disagree.
Yeah.
They hate each other. He's
Can
wrong.
you imagine if Genesis and Super Nintendo played together?
Yeah.
And had online?
Yeah. Well, the X-band modem made it possible back then. You could do it. Not well, but you could do it.
I don't think you could. I think it was...
No, not cross-platform.
Okay,
No,
yeah.
But you could
Speaking
get online.
Man, I played a lot
minimum.
of X-Band. Oh, those phone bills.
Yeah, that's very
Oh
expensive.
my God.
It's very expensive.
Sorry.
Yeah, I had a similar phone bill thing happen to me as a kid with my Commodore. Where you have to call overseas to get the good games. Anyway, yeah, I think I feel like he's right with this.
Totally.
The barriers for this stuff are driven by business, and it's like, it's weird bullshit that you look at and go like, that I think has made some sense up to a point where it's like, no, of course, like you want to buy this platform and do this thing. And there's something about actually, I think the way Fortnite has done things with mobile now that you just look at, and Rocket League, I think, had this to a certain extent with its cross-platform play, but something about also putting it onto phones has really changed my view of this stuff in a way where it's just like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And of course, all these platforms should work together.
Yeah.
Like there's going to be differences. You're going to want to draw limits around controllers when it comes to competitive games. And like, okay, well, we want to make sure that the default experience for someone on a phone isn't getting worked over by someone who has a mouse and keyboard, because that's not a great experience.
Yeah, it's extremely hard to manage.
But if they want to opt into that, why shouldn't we let them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that just makes a ton of sense. I think about something like Rising Thunder, or just like the concept of like that easy to play fighting game
That could
or
work on a
something
phone,
that like, why couldn't that be on a phone being played against people on PC and all this other stuff? I mean, there's a lot of reasons why that game in particular won't be played because they're not actively working on it anymore, really.
Yeah.
But just conceptually, I think there are plenty of opportunities for that to happen. And I think also the quality of the Fortnite port is such that you're just like, damn, this works. It's crazy, but it works.
Yeah,
It's
good,
enough.
crazy stuff.
Yeah. And so I think I tend to agree at this point that it's just the posturing around this stuff really needs to stop.
Absolutely. I've experienced that firsthand, like a real divide between, the groups of friends that like I've got a crew on Xbox, but you know what? We haven't played together because I've got like a different group that's playing on PlayStation right now. And God, if we could get everybody together, we'd have, oh man.
Real quick side note about the phone port of Fortnite. I won my first solo game ever of Fortnite on the phone port, where I didn't shoot a single person. The other person who was in the circle fell and died.
Wow.
Perfect. Congratulations.
Yeah, I felt like a real gamer.
You're a
at that
professional.
moment. Yeah.
Nice work. Nice work. Yeah. So I don't know. I look at that stuff and you just go like, okay, yeah, there's really no reason why these platforms shouldn't talk to each other unless I guess like the only reason I could see is like, hey, you're charging people a annual fee to play games on your platform
Still, that's a
and
business. Yeah.
on the PC.
Case
That
at
doesn't
that point.
happen, which Microsoft is still doing despite putting their games on both. Like there's no concept of Xbox Live Gold on the PC.
Right.
Like you can just play Sea of Thieves there.
Yep.
Which I still think is a really strange thing for them, and I'm surprised they haven't gone one way or the other with it yet.
It's kind of the console tax is
Yeah.
how I think of it.
But I wonder. I bet that at some point they roll Xbox Game Pass and the Xbox Live Gold fee together, and then try to basically. Or basically try to pivot people over to the Xbox Game Pass stuff
Yes.
and make that something
Right.
that works on both PC and Xbox, and get away from some of the like multiplayer gating they're doing on the Xbox,
I can see that.
in a way to kind of make it a friendlier platform that is hopefully more attractive. I think that well, it's it's probably a lot of revenue to give up to go there, but
But if they weren't going to get it in the first place,
yeah.
hard to say.
Hard to say, but I think the disparity between PC and Xbox in that regard just seems arbitrary.
Yep.
I guess I could just as easily see them. Well, no, if they were doing better, I think in the market, I would instead say I bet they'll start charging for PC, online, even though that's super not the norm and things don't work that way
Yeah, I wonder.
and all that other stuff. But
I hope it doesn't. But
I don't think that's a way that they could go
Right.
in the reality of where they're at right now. It'd be crazy for them to do it.
Yep.
So instead, I would see it going maybe the other way of just like, hey, get Game Pass.
Yep.
And
We'll
It
throw
kind
in
of
this
meets in the
multiplayer
middle
gold
of the
stuff.
two. Yeah.
yeah, and maybe try to work in that direction instead. We'll see. Let's see here. There's been a lot of rumors flying around that seem to be getting more and more substantiated about Modern Warfare 2 Remastered. There were some rumors flying around. Kotaku had some stuff. Amazon Italy listed it.
I don't report on rumors, so you guys go ahead.
What about speculation?
Nope,
Yeah.
not even speculation.
Would you like to speculate about these rumors? Do some additional
They're
speculation?
probably right.
Okay.
What if we
Yeah.
create the rumors, Jason?
That's right.
Yeah, I like that idea better.
Okay.
Okay.
I heard that Modern Warfare 2 Remastered is not going to be a thing I especially want to play.
I heard that's gonna have a bear named Cheeseburger.
Yeah, definitely true.
Okay. I'm back in.
That's definitely true. That's not even a rumor. I can confirmed. Stamp. Boom. Charlie Intel, a site that deals in Call of Duty news. They've gotten marketing.
name.
Yeah, they've gotten marketing materials in the past and stuff, and had a decent track record with this stuff over the years. But there's enough other reporting around it as well from traditional outlets that you're like, okay. And the Amazon Italy thing, basically listing Modern Warfare 2 Remastered clocking in around $25. That's in Italian money.
Okay. I don't know what that. Yeah.
So
Shakes out
that
too.
ends up being probably $20 here.
Okay.
Or 30.
That sounds fine.
So but the rumor going around is that there will not be any multiplayer in it. It is just
Oh, weird.
campaign.
I don't
So,
recall how the campaign went in that one.
It's the one with the nuke.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
It's
I didn't play it.
It's
but-
the one with no Russian.
Yep.
It's the
Yep, yep, yep.
there's like stuff in there that's like it was a good campaign in its
There we
day,
go.
but
Still, like no multiplayer.
no multiplayer. Like, yeah, that's kind of the thing I want.
How active was the multiplayer community on the first remaster?
Good.
Yeah.
You know, I bet I could find a match in that game right now.
Huh.
Um,
That's really interesting because, like, if you look at it from like, oh, we did this work and put this thing in this one, and barely anyone used it, so why are we even going to have it in the second one?
well. I think so. I can speculate about these rumors and
Yeah.
tell you why I think they would go this route.
please.
It's because Modern Warfare Remastered was a remaster of a fantastic multiplayer game that was grounded in the way that the real Call of Duty game that year was not. Infinite Warfare was the exact opposite of that in a lot of ways in the multiplayer, wall jumping and wall running and all this sort of stuff that, you know, even on its own merits was not particularly well executed, but also was very much not the thing that like the core fan base wanted. So having it, they basically were competing with themselves.
Right.
Now you have an era where Call of Duty has cut out a lot of that shit and stripped it back to basics in a way that, like, Call of Duty World War II, in some very real ways, resembles games like Modern Warfare.
Right.
You know, games like the old style of Call of Duty. And with Black Ops 4 coming out this year, it's reasonable to assume that they're probably going to stay in that basic realm. Not World War II per se, but in like modern attainable combat. In terms of like not going double jump crazy and all this other stuff. Like I expect that that's probably what they'll do with Black Ops 4.
Gotcha.
Which at that point you've got two games kind of going for the same thing, but one of them is Modern Warfare fucking 2, which is a damn good game with some real good maps. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's more to this story, and maybe it'll be a case of like, oh, we're selling the Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer maps as part of a throwback pack for Black Ops 4, or, you know, some kind of larger piece to this story that we don't know because none of this is official at this point.
Keep your eye on Amazon Italy.
Yeah, I always keep one eye peeled to Amazon Italy for all the latest. It's a bummer. I don't know. Like that's why I would assume this would happen is that business stuff. But at the same time, as someone who really, really liked Modern Warfare 2, I would be down to play that game again as long as it was its full game.
Right.
Spec Ops mode, all that other stuff, you know, would be cool. We'll see how it pans out. Charlie Intel's floating the rumor that Beanox might be doing the port work on this one.
Have they worked on stuff before?
Yeah, they're an Activision studio. They've done. They did like the previous gen versions of Call of Duty when they were still doing that stuff. And I guess they've confirmed that Raven is not doing it, which Raven did Modern Warfare Remastered.
Yep.
At least in part with Beanox. But so we'll see if that end of it pans out. I don't know one way or the other about this stuff, but
keep us in the loop, Charlie. Intel.
Yeah, that's right. Let's see here. What else we got? There's a Street Fighter TV series coming.
What?
Deadline Hollywood is reporting that Entertainment One has closed a deal to produce a new E1 has to produce a new Street Fighter series that is going to television. This is spun out of that Assassin's Fist.
I was
thing.
just gonna say, like, I hope it's
cool.
Those guys doing
it. It is.
Okay,
so
awesome.
my understanding is that this thing was originally maybe even envisioned as a direct follow-up to Assassin's Fist, and then at some point it grew into something larger.
I'm sure that was their hope too.
Yeah.
You know? Make this, the fan series.
All right, I'm gonna throw out
Busted
some.
out.
I'm gonna throw out some Street Fighter characters to you. You tell me who's gonna play them in the TV. Who's your dream?
Kylie Minogue.
I was gonna say Cammy.
Okay.
All right.
Jimmy Smits as Jimmy Blanca.
Okay.
Yep. Okay.
Balrog.
Mike Tyson.
Grant Bush.
All right. Sagat.
West Studi.
West Studi.
Sensing a theme here. I can't quite tie it together. How about Ken?
Ken?
The guy that played Miklo in Blood In, Blood Out.
Yep.
And of course, M. Bison will be played by
A CGI Raul Julia.
A hologram.
I like
Raul
this.
Julia.
Yeah, great. Okay, I think you guys got it. And
Yeah.
and yeah.
Let me pull out my fanfic lists. I've been doing the work already.
Yeah.
So yeah, who is this starring? Okay,
So the series is drawing upon the story here says it is going back to the World Warrior story arc. So this is kind of baseline Street Fighter 2 type stuff.
So many fucking times.
It has, but it's never been done
It's
like
always
well.
for you, Ken. It's fucking Guile and Chun-Li.
Like
don't
honestly
mind
though,
that,
what do you
though.
want? Like the Yun and Yang story, fucking dive kick bros doing
Maybe.
dive kick things.
the Bison storyline. With
They
all
have
the
to-
fucking,
If they
the
want wide
bots.
appeal, they have to do this first. They have to do Street
No,
Fighter
they
2
don't,
because
because it's-
everyone played Street Fighter 2 and everyone's like, "Oh yeah, I know who Ryu is."
But they know who Bison is, right? Like,
Yeah,
and
but-
I'm not saying that the dolls is the right way to go, but that's something else that
I think the
touched
doll's
on.
story is fucking far too anime for anyone to ever translate in this territory.
and that's Jeff
in
saying that.
like a meaningful way.
But you think like a Street Fighter live action is anything but niche? I don't think it has the same kind
but
of
I think if
appeal
you're shooting for it, like if you hear their pitch, they're trying to make Bloodsport,
Okay.
which is like always they're setting it in a tournament, you
Yep.
know,
And
and
the president's favorite movie. It's going to be widely
Right.
successful.
right, yeah. So this is let's see here.
Well, I mean, I trust these guys to make something cool, but like, I'm fucking.
I don't know
over
that I do. The Assassin's Fist stuff I looked at and was like, oh, this is neat, I guess. But
It's really cool.
It's not. It was
Well,
it,
I'm imagining them with a bigger budget, and I'm
Sure.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm idealistic.
So let's see here. So at the start here, they're going to focus on 4 protagonists: Ryu, Ken, Guile, and Chun-Li.
Yep.
Of course, right?
Hey, they're great.
That's half the
That's
cast
Street
of the
Fighter.
original Street
Of the
Fighter.
original, yeah,
A third, I
I
guess.
get it.
the
I know.
most interesting characters.
Are they?
The most iconic.
You think
characters,
Guile is an interesting character, other than going
the most
home to be a
recognizable
family man?
characters?
Puts on the
Sure,
sunglasses.
the mess
Army
with-
guy. If they can live action get Guile's hair right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
If there's
that.
a scene
which
where he
is always the
crouches
hardest
down and
part.
puts on sunglasses, then I'm going to say it's
I
the
will put
greatest
myself
TV
in
show
the
of all
running.
time.
I will make this work if you guys want.
You're getting there.
Yeah. Okay.
I want to see Kenny Omega as Guile,
God.
if only because I think his V trigger
Yeah,
has that Guile leaping knee thing to it.
Yeah.
I think he could pull that off.
I bet he could do a flash kick.
I bet he totally could.
Oh, yeah.
I'd believe anything at this point.
Yeah. I
Kota
would love to see
Ibushi
Kenny
as
Omega.
either
Oh,
Yun.
man.
Okay, all right. Now maybe I'm on
All right,
board.
there we go.
I'm starting to cool down.
Yeah.
Can Kenny Omega play Ken? I would. Yeah, I'm done with that.
I would.
I can see that.
Jet Li is real.
Kota Ibushi is.
Yeah.
Okada.
Who would the
man,
Young
that's
Bucks
pretty
be?
good.
Yeah.
The Young Bucks are maybe your like Yin and
Yeah.
Yang.
Yeah, those guys are
whitewashed
Oh, yeah,
Yin and
yeah.
Yang.
Mhm.
Gotta have some whitewashing. there.
Cody could be Guile.
Yeah.
But then who's Cody?
Oh. Cody
No.
Rhodes. Oh yeah.
What a
he's
nightmare.
impressive.
As an aside, I played some Tekken 7 over the weekend because they put Noctis in it.
Yeah.
He's fucking cool.
It's get some weird ass fucking moves
Yeah.
in that thing. Noctis, not cool. Noctis, the fighting game character,
Yes.
kind of cool.
Thank you for clarifying.
And I jumped into treasure battle mode and fought against a Brian Fury. This is AI Brian Fury, dressed up exactly like Cody. Prison outfit, fucking bar, knife in hand. And I was like, what? It was just
Great.
It was pretty good.
They're making it themselves.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, they will fight M. Bison, who runs Shadowloo, a global criminal organization.
Oh.
Though on different journeys, our heroes' paths will cross as they are drawn into the World Warrior Tournament, a competition devised by M. Bison to find the most powerful and capable fighter in the world. So, I don't know if that means they're going to be like stealing Ryu's power by watching him fight, which seems to be kind of a trope they've used whenever they've
Yeah.
done the tournament thing
Mm-hmm.
in anime and some of the other stuff they've done over the years.
Batista as Zangief.
Batista?
Rusev.
Rusev.
Rusev, yeah.
I was just thinking
Yeah.
I was trying to think of actors first, not
Yeah.
wrestlers.
Yeah. See, now you're
He's
just.
very good in
Blade Runner.
yes.
Rusev is in that 12 rounds. He's
Yeah,
He's
that's-
a wrestler.
that's-
He's a wrestler holding a gun at one point.
Mhm.
Ooh.
He's really going outside of his comfort zone. on
Yeah,
that one.
definitely. Yeah. I
Bo
mean,
Dallas as M. Bison.
Sure.
no-
Okay.
Yeah.
No.
No. No.
Okay.
No. Not. No. No.
No.
I would like a CG M.
Vince
Bison,
McMahon as M. Bison.
You could do the laugh,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
yes thing.
You could probably do a Psycho Crusher.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could.
Does the show come out on Tuesdays?
Yeah. I don't know. You put DJ in it. Get what's his name? The Pope in TNA.
R-Truth.
No, not
No,
R-Truth. He was in
It's not Elias.
it was
something with the E.
Elijah Burke
Yes, there we go.
when he was in that version of ECW.
2009 Kofi Kingston.
There we go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I'll take 2018 Kofi.
Okay, yeah,
Kofi
yeah.
Kingston. I'll take any Kofi Kingston I can get.
Mhm.
Anyway, then there's a quote from Yoshinori Ono.
He says, "Please let me out of this cage I am trapped in."
Marvel was not my fault. All this, yeah. No, it says they have the credentials to help us launch a faithful adaptation of Street Fighter as a major TV series. So they keep talking about this like it's a major TV series. I have my doubts.
Yeah.
Right.
This sounds like a Netflix thing at best.
Yeah. Have
Which,
they
I mean,
mentioned a
whatever,
network,
that-
or?
No, it sounds like they're looking to sell it.
Okay.
That they're going to produce it, but I don't. There's nothing about like, is this going to air? Where
Right.
this is going to air? Where it's going to live? All this other stuff. But
CBS is the most watched network.
It
I'm
is.
just saying.
If CBS signs the Street Fighter TV series, I'm gonna like it's like a weird end around that is like maybe ethically weird, but I would absolutely call in some fucking like we need to go to this set. I want to see this thing get shot. We want to do interviews with these people. Like
I said, I can do some straight up stuff with this hair.
You briefly mentioned Marvel for just a second, but did any of you see that story that broke a couple days ago about the development of Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite and dealing with Disney specifically?
no,
There was
Oh yeah, I did.
somebody who was hired by Capcom to make like introduction videos of like here's how this character is played and stuff. So he did not. I think he like technically worked for Capcom as a freelancer.
like contract,
Yeah.
kind of the gig.
But he told some stories, and the one that kind of caught headlines was in promotional material for Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, they were not allowed to show any Marvel characters getting comboed or beat up.
That's some Triple H.
That's
shit,
straight up Triple H
Like
back in the day.
villains, Marvel villains were okay, and Capcom characters, sure. And sure enough, people have gone back and like scrubbed through all pre-release stuff. And
Yeah.
And it lines up with shit I've heard before as well. So,
yeah, like I had heard a little like whispers here and there of how they were tough to deal with, but like that in particular,
Yeah.
It's a good
is
example.
Brutal.
Yeah, that's
God damn it.
yeah, that was Triple H with those WWE games. THQ
Really?
could not put out footage of Triple H getting beaten and bloodied. So it was oftentimes the first thing we recorded when we got the games.
I mean,
First,
just,
well,
yeah.
because it served two purposes: you beat him up and then see how his hair was.
Exactly. Yeah, you need to know. The world needs to know. Let's see here, and then news in brief. God of War's gone gold. It's going to be due April 20th. They're going to
time.
make their date, so that thing's coming out pretty soon.
I still have no idea what it is.
It's
I mean, I know kind of what
Yeah,
it is,
you
but like,
do.
what's
You-
good? What's
you know.
up with that kid?
Well, he's
yeah, I don't know.
cool kid.
We'll find
No,
out
he's
soon
not.
enough.
He's a cool kid.
No,
Beats
kid's
up
a
people.
nerd.
You're a
Kratos basically
You're a
calls him a nerd right away. He's like, "Hey, nerd, shut up! Go fucking fuck up this deer."
He's like, no. There's a replay editor coming to Fortnite Battle Royale. They showed a little bit of that at that same GDC talk.
That's neat.
replay editor.
Replay editor, like you'll be able to go back into your matches and
make myself
clips
win.
and all this other stuff. Yeah, exactly. Make yourself look.
Add in some air horns.
Yeah. Make it look like you don't get beaten or bloodied.
Blow out all the colors.
No combos to you, and then put it out.
I wonder how robust it's going to be. If it's going to be like somebody could like spin out like a red versus blue kind of, you know what they did with
Right.
Halo.
Yeah. Like a full-on machinima machine.
Yeah. I wonder.
Gosh. Ark Survival Evolved is coming to Switch this year. That game was
Wow.
very big.
Yeah.
I assume it is
I
still
never
sizable, but like the survival thing seems like it definitely pivoted into the Battle Royale thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder how games like that are doing, but
We'll
Ark's
see
coming to
with
Switch.
Ark Battle Royale.
Right, yeah.
But
And
this is a full-fledged Switch version, huh?
yep.
Cool.
Yeah, Switch version due out this year.
Rad.
And Tempest 4000 has been delayed a little bit. There was some
Oh.
expectation that it was going to be hitting this week.
But now it's going to be
And
the year
then
4000.
Then I said, "You got any of that?" And they're like, "It's going to be a few
Oh,
weeks out."
okay.
So that game is not out just yet.
I
I
can breathe easy.
am looking forward to Tempest 4000,
Mhm.
which is
Is that the Jeff?
this
Jeff
is
Minter is
Jeff
working
Minter's
on?
next game.
Yeah.
I am not a gigantic Tempest fan. I kind
Hmm.
of never have been. And I've played a lot of Tempest 2000, and this seems fairly similar to that.
but
But at the same time, I will happily play damn near anything Jeff Minter puts out.
there you go.
And I'm hoping, I guess, after this is done for Atari, he said that Llamasoft is going to go back and put Polybius on PC,
Cool.
which I would like to see Polybius with even more power behind it.
Yeah.
Like they hit 120 hertz on PlayStation VR,
Mm-hmm.
and that worked in its favor very much there. And so, like, you give them even more power and an even clearer image and all that sort of stuff with those headsets. I wonder
that's
what that'll be
exciting.
like. I'm just about ready to play some more Polybius in VR. So
Why didn't I
Hopefully
buy
that
like
doesn't
a
take long.
VR machine or something instead of a fucking skateboard? What the
I
hell?
know, dude.
Dude.
Then you could have broken both your wrists
Yeah.
or like your shoulder or
yeah,
something.
you could have fallen and punched a like TV or something cool like that.
Jesus Christ, I'm dumb.
Yeah, well, there's always next time.
Yeah.
Why don't we take one more break here and we'll come back with emails. Stay with us. Student loans can completely wipe you out if you don't get a handle on them.
Yeah, those things can get away from you.
Yeah. There's like an interest on them, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, if you have a balance, they start charging you more money for the money that they already gave you.
Don't get charged for the money you're getting charged.
Yeah. If you want to get a handle on them, you can check out Credible.com.
Now, what can they do for me?
The folks over at Credible.com are running an online marketplace for student loan refinancing. They've got a simple platform. It takes less than 2 minutes to find out if you're overpaying on your student loans.
That would not be a position you'd want to be in.
No, and you might be able to save thousands by refinancing.
Wow.
All you have to do is visit Credible.com/bombcast, answer a few quick questions, and right away you'll get real rates, not ranges of rates, from multiple lenders.
Specifics.
Yeah.
They're ready to quote numbers.
That's right. Numbers all up in your face, helping you to make the decisions you might need to make.
Yeah.
Credible.com is completely free to use, and checking your rates will not affect your credit score. So there's nothing to lose.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. The average user who refinances through Credible.com saves almost $19,000. I had to look at this closer. Like,
wow,
$19,000
that is
over
a
the life of their loan.
Healthy 5 figures.
And then there's a bullet point here. It just says, think about what you could do with $19,000.
You could almost buy a brand new video card with that much money.
That's right. Yeah.
That's nothing to sneeze at.
That's nothing. You could try to sneeze at it, but it would blow it right back in your face.
That's true.
For a limited time,
with that much money, you could wipe your nose with the dollar bills.
Yeah.
$19,000.
Yeah.
If you sneezed.
Sock it away. You could get a car. You could probably get 2 cars.
Yeah.
Get some used cars. We could get like 10 cars out of that. I don't know. Run your own demolition derby.
Ooh.
What are you doing?
Yeah, who needs college when you can run a demolition derby?
That's right. Turn your college degree into something useful by running a successful demolition derby operation. There aren't nearly enough of them.
No.
That's right.
Business opportunity.
Yeah, it's right there. It's right there hanging in front of your face.
Yeah.
Just get over to Credible.com/bombcast. For a limited time, listeners will get a $200 welcome bonus when refinancing through Credible.com/bombcast. You can pay off your student loans faster or lower your monthly payment, whatever works for you. Just head over to Credible.com/bombcast. I definitely feel like I'm hearing more and more about people getting hacking attempt type stuff on their Epic accounts.
This is the 3rd time in about a week or 2 that it's been locked.
Due to someone trying to log into your Fortnite and just trying to spend a bunch of Fortnite V-Bucks.
Yep. I don't have any payment things tied to it. So
but they don't know that.
Yeah, they don't know that. But still, it's...
Can you buy gifts for other accounts? Because I always felt like those scams were big on like you...
Steam trading.
Yeah. Or you would hack an account, buy a bunch of shit, and then trade it, launder it around.
Totally.
Yeah. I don't know how to do that in Fortnite, but there must be a way.
Or maybe they're just like figuring they can hack these accounts that maybe they lie dormant, but they have a payment instrument on them.
Yeah.
So they can just run it up and play the game.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's weird.
That's how it was with my Ubi account got hacked at one point. They were just playing Far Cry with a friend. It's like, okay,
all right.
weird.
Well,
they didn't try and buy anything. But I don't know.
I had my Netflix account get hacked once and changed it all to Russian info.
Yeah. I had my Spotify get hacked. I eventually made a playlist of shit my hacker listens to. I still got it out there.
I got my Grubhub hacked, and people ordered $116 worth of sandwiches. And I was like, that's your like delivery? Like, oh, we're going to get just a bunch of sandwiches.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Got him.
Live life. Get like...
Also, those have to get delivered somewhere.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So-
No, and it gave me the address of where it got delivered, and it was in another state, but...
That seems like
I'd be
something that
sending
you
them
would be
stuff all the time.
Yeah. Or like, just tell the cops,
Yeah.
like, this is where these sandwiches got sent. What the...
I mean, they don't necessarily, like, you can
Get
send
'em.
it to a fake address and then stand outside the house and be like, oh, those are for Jill?
That was always my brilliant plan when it came to stealing credit cards and buying computer components when I was like 12.
Yep.
It's like, I wonder what you would have to write on the package to get him to ship it to like this telephone pole out in front of my house. And we could just stand there and get it, and then they'll never know.
Yeah.
And then really mean dog, so
Right.
you gotta meet me here.
But then we just never, we never had
7-Eleven.
credit cards. So whatever. Let's get into...
Nice cover.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get into some emails.
Yeah.
Bombcast@giantbomb.com. That's where you send those emails.
That's where I do.
For this podcast. No other podcasts.
Uses that email, as far as I know.
No, none. definitely not. I've seen going through the emails this week. I saw some emails for other podcasts.
Oh,
And I saw a lot of like PR emails
Yeah.
and stuff that like
I saw one that was like,
lists we got added to that are just like, here's press releases for games. I'm like, oh yeah, I guess this is the only email address you could find.
yeah,
That's
there was
by
one that was like
design.
subject line was like, how hardcore is history? And I was like, I don't think this is for us.
Yeah. Anyway, that brings us to our first email. Matthew asks, how hardcore is history?
Very, turns out.
Yeah.
You ever
on
hear
if-
the
Is it drunk
the
history?
Genghis Khan? He was so
Yeah.
hardcore.
Genghis Khan.
Genghis Khan is
Just
fucked
fucking
up, man.
messed up countries with barrels. Man.
Yeah, just so many barrels, so much destruction. Now we got a lot of emails this week about Fortnite, specifically Fortnite in our schools. A lot of teachers
It's
wrote
ruining
in.
America.
Yeah, a lot of teachers wrote in and said, "Oh yeah, we've had to block ports. We disable Wi-Fi. Like the public Wi-Fi gets turned off during class because and Pokemon Go was the other thing they cited as like the last thing that they were definitely, had to act."
What about like Minecraft? I wonder
well,
if they really blocked that.
I don't know. Like
'Cause
Minecraft
that was
Mobile
the
is
only
a
other
local
game-
experience
Yeah, that's
usually.
true.
So if you were
Like, I
installing it
know-
on the PCs at school,
My
that's-
mom works at a school, and the kids, like during lunch breaks, they would all go into the computer lab to
Mm-hmm.
play Minecraft on the computers there. So it seemed like
But that's still kind of like a fun, kind of creative learning game, I guess. I don't know. That's the only other game besides like Pokemon Go that had that kind of widespread appeal.
yeah.
Where kids were playing it during class. and
Yes.
shit.
Yeah. But thanks to all the teachers who wrote in, it sounds like it's hell out there.
I'm sorry.
keep strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stay strong. Build walls around you to keep the kids out.
Instead of guns, let's send them firewalls.
Yeah.
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 There we go.
And we also got a ton of emails asking if Sea of Thieves is just the next No Man's Sky, which I don't think I agree with.
I kind of want to play No Man's Sky.
Yar, man.
I've been meaning to.
Really want to play
Yeah.
any more Sea of
Yeah,
Thieves.
I've been meaning to.
I feel like No Man's Sky is different in that it talked a real big game at certain points versus like Sea of
yeah.
Thieves.
yeah, Sea of
They
Thieves
were
has
very
been-
vague about a lot of
Right.
things, which ended up working out in their favor. 'Cause they-
Maybe I don't know. Like yes, but like it led to assumptions about what like the game was going to have in its final form. That
Yeah.
or maybe that's not their fault entirely.
But like No Man's Sky was straight up like, oh yeah, you'll be able to see other ships from
yeah,
real
yeah.
players like right next to you.
yeah, it was occasionally vague, but like definitely had some other stuff along the way that like, okay, this stuff doesn't seem like it's in the
Yeah.
game. At least, and if it is, it's not in the way you necessarily said it
No.
was. I think the No Man's Sky situation was more dramatic.
Yeah, and then didn't their studio got flooded and they lost a bunch of like
yeah, there was
yeah.
oh man, it was just
progress.
chaos.
Like yeah, it seemed like it was more hectic.
But with Sea of Thieves, yeah, it seems like that they were very vague. They were running these betas for kind of a long time, and you had the impression that they like had a thing that they were like, "We're onto something here, but we haven't quite figured it out." And I
And they
get the impression
really
that they
figure it out.
put it out without having really figured it out.
Sure.
So
Either way, yeah, the approach and messaging was different, I think, for both of those titles. But yeah, they might kind of offer the same kind of
some
experience
similarities.
ultimately.
yeah, some similarities, I guess.
Yeah.
But not as direct as people are wanting to imply. Matthew in Saskatoon writes in and says, I've been thinking lately about if cryptocurrency will eventually leak into game stories. With a huge surge in popularity, it seems like it's the perfect situation for any like cyber hacker storyline where they hold or steal the world's cryptocurrency. Do you think we will get stories that involve or revolve around cryptocurrency?
I hope that shit burns out before it gets written in.
I'm going to say yes,
Yeah.
1000% that's
Yeah.
going to happen.
David Cage.
If so, which game franchise or studio do you think will be the first to do it? I
David
personally
Cage.
hope not, but my bet would be on Watch Dogs or any new Deus Ex.
I could see a Watchdog.
I think Watch Dogs is probably
Yep.
like Watch Dogs is very
But I
much
feel
a
like-
game that is going to have like a douchey crypto
Yes.
bro.
I feel like they'll have a funny twist on it. Like it won't be.
It won't be like you're mining stuff, or
Yeah.
fuck, maybe it will be.
You probably will be.
Maybe
You, like
like
when you pass people on the street who are on their phones, you could like bug
you're
them.
installing fucking
Yeah.
malware that now their phone is
Ubisoft, if
mining
you're
for you.
listening.
Yeah. Ubisoft, if you're listening, Far Cry 5 is a bummer. Yeah. And also Watch Dogs 3, I hope is
And
good.
also bring back Raymond.
Raymond?
Everybody
Raymond.
loves Raymond.
Raymond.
Neil in Michigan writes in and says, I think Watch Dogs is the obvious choice there for,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
crypto,
absolutely.
That's a good
cryptocurrency
one.
story. Maybe when Cyberpunk 2077 finally comes out.
No,
that's a
don't-
game that'll probably be
don't mess with
on
that
the
game.
other side of this
Right.
shit in a way.
Yeah.
Assuming it does all flame out, but
Man,
who
I'm
knows,
excited for
man?
that game.
Who knows?
Yeah, don't mess
They were
it
out
up.
there saying that they were not closed off to the idea of multiplayer for that game.
Oh, great.
It was very much like hey, this is still like a single player RPG. Like, don't
Yeah.
get it twisted. But hey, we'll
Wonder
see.
how that works. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Neil in Michigan writes and says, I was talking to a coworker and she started talking about a toy she had been a toy she had been buying for her daughter
Boy toy that she bought for her daughter.
called LOL dolls. Tell
Ah.
me if this sounds familiar to you. You pay $10 and get a ball that you cannot see inside. You open it and there's random accessories and a random doll. The dolls have different levels of rarity
Yeah.
and come with a pamphlet that tells you the rarity of the dolls.
It's a modern day loot box.
Yeah. How are
It's a
loot,
gachapon.
how are
Yeah.
loot boxes in games for teens and adults toxic while these loot toys marketed to 8-year-old girls okay? Is the government in the pocket of Big Toy?
It gotta be.
You think that's bad? Fucking baseball cards have existed for 100 years
No
or more.
shit.
Wait, I don't.
Put a fucking quarter into one of those machines and twist the dial, and you don't
You
know
don't know
what
what
you're
you're
gonna
getting. Yeah.
Get. Fuck.
No, I think the difference there is that
You're not paying $60 to
well, you're also
gain access
it's
to
not,
the toys.
It's the digital like I
Yeah.
can push this button as many times as possible and keep buying
Yeah.
slot machine aspect to it. As
I
opposed
haven't
to
hooked
like,
up my mom's credit card to this doll's
exactly.
vending machine.
Yes. Yeah. If you could do that, then that would probably be a different story.
I have a lot of.
There's a lot of differences there. I don't see those two being.
Yeah,
similar.
like the loot box came from something. It's
Yeah.
from stuff like this. It's
Yeah.
from stuff like the Gachapon stuff. It's
I
from
buy blind
Crane
box
games
stuff every
for-
now and again, and
Yeah.
I'm happy with what I get. You know, I get
Like
a little physical dude or something.
Yeah,
I usually
there's-
feel like if I'm ever buying like a blind box toy thing,
Mhm.
there's a specific one I want, and it's never the one I get.
Yeah.
and I
Yeah,
buy
it could
one
be.
and go, I'm an
I
idiot.
usually will only buy something if I like the entire series.
Yeah,
of,
if I
you know,
can
what
look
they're
at,
showing.
at all of them and say like, would I be happy with the one I like
Yep.
the least on here?
Yep.
If the answer is yes, then I'll do it.
Oh man, so I've been hitting up Toys R Us like,
Oh,
like
yeah.
crazy since
I've
they're-
been meaning to. What does it look like in there? I
It
heard that they were
is-
selling registers and shit.
Yeah, it's completely cleaned out, and it's just fucking anarchy in there. Like all of the blind box toys,
Mm-hmm.
people have like opened them up and shit just to find out what the hell's inside, and yeah, that's real bad. It's a crazy scene.
But how were the deals?
Some were really good,
Huh.
but some Toys R Us, you know, even though they've announced that they're all going away, some haven't adopted the
Yeah.
you know, fire sale
I
shit yet.
I went to one in Foster City, and they still had a now hiring sign.
Really?
So Foster City is holding on strong.
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
dream.
But the one in Emeryville by my place, that is, it's almost completely cleaned out. They're up to like 60% off on stuff. And
Yeah.
I've been getting, you know, Skylanders for like $2 or whatever. So I almost pulled the trigger on this Macho Man robe, this replica robe,
Yeah.
but it was like $80, even after the discount.
Wow. I'm amazed that they even sell a thing that expensive
It,
like that.
it
That's-
seemed really legit.
Huh.
And
Well,
I
very
mean,
expensive.
a good robe, $80. That's a deal.
I
Yeah.
guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of sequence that goes into that, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
I should have got it.
Yeah, I
should've
keep
got it.
should have
meaning
found a
to.
hiding spot.
I keep meaning to swing by the
could've
one that
hauled it for you.
that I pass on my way home and see what the state of it is.
Yeah. It's
I know
sad.
that one.
It's really
I've
sad.
been to that one,
Yeah.
and the thought of it going away is
Yeah,
sad.
it's weird.
Shit is just
Yeah.
all over the place, and I have fond memories of Toys R Us for real. You know,
Yeah.
and I love taking my son there. He has such a good time, and it's gonna be weird to not have like a, you know, completely dedicated toy store anymore.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing else really out there.
Right. It's
I supported my Toys R Us, man. I really did.
I bought a lot of holiday gifts. I went there for a lot of Christmas type shit for the last few years
Yeah.
and spent a decent chunk of money.
What are kids in Nickelodeon gonna win if they can't win?
Oh my God.
All you can grab toy.
John
binge?
Cena will slime them.
Gross.
Dude,
Yeah,
John Cena
Not
just got
cool.
slimed recently.
he did.
Yeah.
what happens to John Cena in the privacy of his own home is up to John Cena and God and,
And
nobody
the
else.
E network.
And one of the Bellas.
Yeah. Let's see here. Breno writes in, make your scientifically proven, empirically researched, perfect fighting game that would bring Capcom back to former glory. What would it be like?
Third Strike 2.
Okay, yeah. He says we all know Third Strike is already the perfect fighting game, but try to make something new.
Fuck.
What kind of art design do you want? You want sprites?
Oh,
You want
man,
3D
yeah,
models?
Yeah. We need sprites. Okay.
I want KOF 13 level
Yo, we need
art.
we need to make Capcom versus Capcom happen for real. Okay, so let's go
Yeah,
off
because
that.
they
that
did
base, right?
Capcom Fighting Evolution.
Right.
That game came out. It was not great.
Yeah, or Fighting
I
Jam.
feel like yeah, Fighting Jam, depending on where you were, I
Yep.
guess. And then there was that Capcom Fighting All Stars, which was a game they announced that was a similar
Yeah.
concept. I played it
I
at an
never played
arcade
it.
show in Japan,
Oh, really?
and then it never came out. It seemed okay
Okay.
from what I remember of it, but it's
I-
been a long time.
I don't know that I want Marvel style.
Nope, I definitely do.
I
not.
don't want tags. I want single
want, like,
characters. I
KOF
want
style.
an absolutely huge. I want everybody in the Capcom
Yeah,
roster.
I wouldn't even want like a multi-character team. I wouldn't even want a KOF
Right,
style. I
one-on-one.
wouldn't want one-on-one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here. So
See, I like
sprites
I
for
like
sure.
having
I want-
multiple.
I
on
want
your team.
complete characters that don't have to lean on assists.
Well, no,
or
there's
teams
no
or all
assists.
this
It's
other
just
stuff.
like
I
when
guess
your
if it-
character
I guess
dies,
if
the
it's-
next
yeah, I
one's
guess if
in.
it's KOF style,
okay.
maybe it's
Yeah,
a
I
little
see
more.
what you're saying there.
You
Okay.
recover a little bit of health.
I could get behind that. Okay.
Just because if we want a huge roster, I want to be able to like pick my 3 favorites.
Okay.
It's a purely selfish.
What if it
decision.
was 2?
Sure?
What if it was like rival schools rules of like you lose a match, you can keep your main character in or swap to the other one?
Yeah.
Are we just making CVS 2, 3?
Uh-huh.
We were just okay. All right. I thought that's what we were going for. Yeah, sprite based.
K Groove.
You want grooves? You want isms?
If
I don't need them.
no, because I always pick the same one. Like I
Yeah.
always just find one I like
Yeah.
and tend to stick with it. So maybe what I really want is just the base system to be good.
Here's what I want earnestly from the next Capcom fighting game, no matter what it is. I want a ArcSys style or better tutorial system. I want something in there
Yeah.
that can get new people. It can get people with a little bit of fighting game knowledge and teach them something new. Like the Unial one that I showed off during the quick look. Like I want, it doesn't
Yeah.
necessarily have to be that intense, but just like something beyond here's 10 missions per character. And I mean,
Absolutely,
Street
yeah.
Fighter 5s is like the bare minimum. I want a much better version of that.
Yeah, it's and it's been done. And you know what? Reach out to the community to put together some shit. Yeah, they did that once before with like a Blaze Blue when that first came out. They had like
Oh,
a
okay.
supplementary DVD.
That's cool.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was great. I think my favorite fighting game, like if I was doing this for myself, man, what I would do is like a horror franchise, like all the movie slashers and stuff. If you guys browse through my Twitter, there's an artist. I finally found out who the artist was. He made like an alpha style, like Alpha 3 style, like
Oh.
character select screen with Jason versus Freddy. And I finally bought that print. But he's making a follow up to that with a bunch of new characters and stuff. But I would love that. But I think we're just making kind of CVS
Okay.
3. But I want Guilty Gear Exert level graphics. Like I'd put it in that 3D engine and just go nuts with it.
I'd
Oh,
be even
man.
I'd be
Oh,
even
man.
happy with like really nice sprites.
Yeah,
E-
I think
either or.
Yeah, maybe not. I probably would be a little bit on the side of like really nice sprites would be cool to see. I would just like to see what people can do.
Yeah.
These days.
Make it happen.
Yeah, like the general kind of soundtrack and just like vibe of Third Strike.
Okay.
Like that type of stuff, like announcer style and stuff, I think would be.
I got to have an alpha style announcer.
Yeah.
I'm even fine with like additional characters being brought on in season passes. Like make a huge
Expanding
roster.
the game, I think makes sense.
But
I
yeah.
like it, like I don't think like, hey, I want 70 characters at launch and no DLC. Like that's okay, sure, it's fine to want that. That's just that's cool. But at the same time, I think there's always room to expand and room to balance. And if you're going to be balancing, you might as well be doing a little bit more, bring in new stages to freshen things up. I think like that type of post-release stuff can be cool.
I want it so bad.
I want them to adopt
Ah.
the
Do you want air blocking? Do you want parries? Like
Yeah.
what type of,
Yeah.
like what kind of systems? I
Yes.
think air blocking is really fun.
Yep.
yeah
I need air blocking.
air blocking, air fireballs, no air dashing.
I like a good neutral game, so slow it down. That's just me though. But that's also science. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Also put Fox McCloud in it,
Wait.
get the fuck no,
Yeah, no.
no, don't
Nope.
you?
and
No,
all
no.
the stages need to be flat.
Stop it.
I'm listening.
Stop it.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Matthew from Texas writes in and says, since it seems like Konami is interested in continuing the Metal Gear franchise to a certain degree,
They're interested in making money.
how likely do you think it is they'll put out a finished version of Metal Gear 5 with a proper ending in an effort to get back fans' goodwill after Metal Gear Survive?
0.
Zero.
So, yeah, I'm with you.
That ship There is no ship.
Well, I mean,
They sunk it.
depends on how much
Can't
work
find
was
a
done
mermaid.
on like that final ending.
They shot the captain and
Right.
sunk the
It
ship.
seems like there was some work done on
Yeah.
that. I wonder how much it would
Like,
take to
There's something.
release that last act.
There's something about that the crew of people that tried to hold on to that concept
Yeah.
of like, no, the real ending is this. It's gonna come. It's gonna come. Like,
I mean, I got
it was
wrapped
just
up
so
in it.
sad.
Like in that initial like couple day period when stuff first started to leak that there even was this ending.
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
that was really cool. I was on like the Metal Gear Reddit and people had these really cool theories. And then like 2 days after nothing happened, I was just like, oh.
yeah. It just made me so sad. It was just like, this isn't how this goes. This is like, I know Kojima's like a wild man, does
Yeah.
a bunch of crazy stuff.
It was
but it's
just the hope
not.
of like maybe there's one more.
Like I didn't necessarily have a huge dislike for the way that game wrapped up. You know, like the second chapter missions were not great, but
yeah.
I had my issues with that were not about the ending.
But-
It was about the lack of memorable.
sure,
Yeah,
sure,
bosses or-
sure.
Totally, yeah. But after reading what that last act was going to be, like, I felt like that
That'd
would
be
have
pretty
been
cool.
like an appropriate, because it addressed a lot of questions that I had, or some lingering things. I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah. Ron in Ontario
So-
writes in, and Ontario Ron would definitely know. He writes in and says, last week you guys scoffed at the idea. I don't know, that's maybe a little. At the idea of Ontario Teachers Pension Plan buying a stake in Ubisoft, which they did.
I
Okay.
didn't scoff at the idea of it. I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Did I miss this? I missed this.
Ye-
I don't remember this story.
So,
Anyway,
so
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Ubisoft got itself back from Vivendi.
Yeah.
And as a part of that, some new stakeholders have entered the picture in a non-voting
10
way.
cents.
Tencent has 5% of the company,
Right.
and this Ontario Teachers Pension Plan has something like 3 point what's that?
So that's
whatever.
not like,
No, it's not some. They're not voting shares.
Right.
It's not some huge amount. I can understand your point of view since you've never dealt with them before. However, you should know that they are a force to be reckoned with. You don't win a political office in Canada without the backing of the teachers, and any politician who has crossed them never got reelected. In 2012, they sold their 80% controlling stake in the Toronto Maple Leafs because they thought their money was better spent elsewhere. Think about that for a second. The Ontario Teachers Pension Plan is too good to sell hockey to Canadians in Canada's largest hockey market.
That's funny.
They reach as far as well. Last year, they bought the leading Australian avocado producer, Jasper Farms. The Ontario Teachers Pension Plan is the largest single profession pension plan in Canada and a worldwide contender with over $1.1 trillion in assets.
Gee, well, sorry,
I
man.
don't know if that's Canadian money or not.
Sorry.
Sorry. Now their investment in Ubisoft is nowhere near enough to take direct control of anything, but trust me when I say these teachers are the honey badgers of pension plans. If things do not go their way, they will not think twice about selling their shares to Tencent or someone else who may want to eventually take over Ubisoft.
Oh, yeah.
Alternatively, if things go their way, they may try and acquire a controlling stake in Ubisoft themselves. I'm just going to butt in here before I finish and say part of the deal was that Tencent agreed to not acquire any additional shares for 5 years.
Oh, okay.
So selling it to Tencent would not be a short-term move. Everything at this point is just conjecture, but you know those businessmen we
Yeah.
blame for all the bad decisions in video games? Well, these teachers represent the worst of those businessmen.
Really?
I hope Ubisoft knows who they just got into bed with.
Uh-oh.
Ontario Ron has an axe to
Yeah,
grind.
I was
No
gonna
shit.
say. I'm gonna look. I want to know more about these teachers. I'm gonna go learn about these teachers.
Yeah, that
Okay.
sound.
Like, how did they get all this money in the first place?
I don't know. Canada maybe values education in a way.
What?
Yeah, just putting it out there. Just putting it out there. That's fucking wild. Wild if true, I guess. That's what the kids say, right?
Yes.
That's how
Up
that
there,
goes.
yeah.
Yep.
Andy in Omaha says, I have been listening to Jeff, Brad, Vinny, and Alex talk about stuff that was supposed to define my adult life technologically for almost 2 decades. Yes, I know, that's terrifying.
Did any of it come to pass?
My question is this, though. What promised piece of technology that failed to materialize makes you the most sad? It could be a console, peripheral, obscure file format, whatever. What technology thing that was supposed to change your life never saw the light of day?
Hoverboards.
The 3DO M2.
Electric skateboards.
Just haven't found the right one yet.
Yeah. No, I'm over it.
I always thought it was jetpacks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Like that type of personal travel,
Did you
kind
see
of
that-
air travel.
Did you see that samurai jetpack fight?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So we're getting there.
Yeah, we're getting close. I can feel it.
Yeah, you know, it's cliche to say it, but like, yeah, the flying car kind of jetpack stuff was the stuff that seemed like, oh man, one day it's going to be like this.
I still feel like that's gonna happen at some point, but way later than we anticipated.
I think the thing that'll happen though instead is, or at least
We're gonna get
first,
self-driving
yeah,
cars.
exactly.
First. Yeah, that's gonna
you
be
know?
more widespread.
And they had
unless
their
start killing people.
well, more people that
Right.
happened.
More, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that happened.
Oops.
Yeah, so yeah, it seems like that the
Hmm.
like assisted driving, self-driving car stuff will be the way for a while.
Man, the like the voice activation stuff, like you know, the Alexa,
The Star Trek computer help me with
Like-
this shit.
like that has come to pass, and I didn't think that would really take off.
Yeah, but it
And
sucks.
It can't do anything except tell you things right now, though.
that's you know, it's
It
a good first step.
You can get it to turn your lights on
Yeah.
and off. I mean, but
Just
like
the
the
fact
phrase
that
I
it
could
is,
do that by clapping decades ago.
It's a fair point.
Just the
They
fact
still,
that
they still sell the clapper.
we've improved from like, you know, Connect voice, you know,
Mm.
to like something like this. Like it works pretty
So-
goddamn well.
Something
It's
that
kinda
like
scary.
this that works so well and only stores your data in one warehouse.
I think my problem isn't that it doesn't work; it's that it doesn't do enough.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's
that's where
like,
I'm at. Like
if-
V2,
Right.
when it starts like opening your doors and turning on your
Right.
stove and
Smart homes are definitely
it's
a thing.
it's
Yeah.
stuff that like the lifestyle. Like I'm not leading the lifestyle where I need to be like voice assistant. What's my calendar look like for the day?
Okay.
And while I'm like brushing my hair, it's telling me what meetings I have. Like that's just not how I fucking do things.
But some
So-
people do.
Yeah,
you
My
make
wife
me
uses it an
read out
awful
your
lot.
Yeah,
meetings
or like,
for the day.
hey, Cortana found my flight information in my email
Can
and
you
is
make
telling me when I
do-
should
you just
leave.
call
Yep.
me and say, Ben,
Ben,
what are my
wake up-
meetings?
Wake up!
And I say, I'm asleep.
Damn it. Yeah. So it's more that I just like I don't like I respect the idea of ordering shit off the internet with my voice, but I don't need to do that yet.
I didn't need
it
to
hasn't
order
it hasn't
stuff,
become
but I needed
convenient
to I needed
enough.
to pull up information when I need something. I need to set an alarm while I'm cooking. I need active yeah, there's lots of use cases.
Yeah,
for-
I think you know
for me.
I tend to use my phone for those types of
But
situations, but because it's
hands
Siri,
off, man.
because it I mean I can do hands off phone stuff. I
Yeah,
can,
but
like
you know, it's gonna pull up a recipe but not read it off to you.
right. Yeah, that's true.
I'm just waiting for tea Earl Grey hot. Like once that's in my life, I'm ready. Like,
I just-
I'm fully embracing technology.
I can just
Yeah.
get that for you, Ben.
I want to take a pill, pop it into a microwave, and have it be a chicken dinner
I want to take a pill
someday.
that trips me out that makes me think I ate a chicken dinner.
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
just eat a bowl of slop.
I just want to
Or
shoot
no, I don't
myself
eat anything.
with a bliss bullet.
I want food to go away.
I just want gobstoppers,
No.
real life gobstoppers,
Yeah.
Everlasting ones,
everlasting ones, not
Yep.
the ones we got right now.
the Willy Wonka
Hell
movie version. Just
Hell yeah. I want to possibly turn blue and giant
Yep.
also.
It's like, oh God, is that
I can
pumpkin
teach you how
pie?
to do. I can teach you how to do one of those.
Oh, okay.
Oh, now we're moving into mashed potatoes and gravy.
Tomato
Oh, yeah.
soup. Wow.
If
That
they
sounds
could
great.
just, you know, like, it's terrible because it's disgusting, and I don't think they've figured it out yet. But the idea of Soylent
Yeah,
is not like if they got that down
Nope.
to where it was just like
I
here's
enjoy
an
eating too
easy
much.
thing that is nutrition done
I would do that.
combined with 0-calorie food
Right.
that actually isn't bad.
I was gonna say, I
That
would
lets
do
you-
that-
that lets you
Taste
just
better,
experience
or-
the garbage.
I would do
Okay.
that 4 days a week and then eat meals the other 3. Like I want to be able to like not think about half of my meals. Like if I could just eliminate the thought process and prep time of
Yeah.
cooking.
Yeah,
For
that's
half my
that's kind of
shit,
a
I'd be
bummer,
into
but
it.
I don't know. I enjoy the process of eating. Like I totally get eating for your sustenance and sustenance alone, but like I like making food. Like
Yeah,
Like,
I mean I like
that's-
that too. But then I'm just like Thursday hits,
yeah,
and I spend Mondays a lot of times cooking like big meals that I can eat throughout the week or stuff. But then like the end of the week creeps up, you're out of energy, and it's just like, I wish I could just press a button and be full.
I want to press the button, but eat something really good, not just be full.
I think it would be cool to never have to think about food ever again.
No,
A former boss of mine made his own baby food and hooked it up to like a feeding bag, like a horse would.
Uh-huh.
what
Yep. Just continued working like that 5 days a week with his
little trough in front?
Yeah, he had a freezer where he just stuffed these big bags of his own baby food. So
Was your boss RoboCop?
Yeah,
He got pretty close.
Okay.
A little walrus-like.
Hmm.
But yeah, there were times where I just open the freezer at the office and I was like, "What's this bag of like gelatinous stuff?" And then I'd be told, "Put it away.
Don't touch that.
Don't touch his feedback.
Yeah,
That's sure.
But seriously,
Yeah.
where the fuck are hoverboards?
Tony Hawk was right. There's that video of Tony Hawk riding one
Damn it.
that has to be on a metal half pipe
God
and
damn it.
all this other stuff, and
I wish holograms were a thing.
yeah.
Yeah, hologram interfaces. You just beep boop, touch them.
Beep boops.
Yeah.
Yep.
That
Some,
seems
like Minority Report stuff?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. Tony
gotcha.
Stark stuff,
Yeah.
so you want Kinect to be good.
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you want AR to be good enough to
Yep.
where you're
Yeah.
seeing the interface in your glasses
Yep.
and it's picking up your fingers.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
I want Bart to be good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly
like
right.
solving transportation, especially like rapid transit over large distances.
Put me in a tube Jetson style.
Yeah, I think
Instead, we're in a tube in the bottom of a
Yep.
lake.
I think that's
Always
that
scary to
sort of
think
stuff
about.
would be good.
Mm-hmm.
With the way that urban sprawl is and the way that the way that transportation works now, especially around here,
Oh, yeah. That's fucked.
and telecommuting and people working far away and stuff like that. But sometimes you need to be places
Yeah.
with people like solving those problems without just resulting in like more telepresence stuff, unless you do get to a point where VR and holograms have become good enough
We're
to
all
where,
like in the room together,
Yeah.
but
right. Yeah. Maybe you get there that way.
We could do the podcast from. Oh, man.
Yeah,
just put
man.
holograms in here.
That's right.
Let's work on that for next week, Jim.
And my
I'll
hologram
just
looks
get
like
cardboard
Big
cutouts.
the
Yeah.
Cat. Let's see. Alex in New York
Oh,
with
Navarro?
probably not.
Hmm.
I don't have that information in front of me.
Okay.
But I'm gonna say maybe not. With Nintendo going back to cartridges for their main console, albeit smaller cartridges, and Windows 10's physical copy being on a small USB stick,
Yeah.
will the next generation Xbox and PlayStation or third-party consoles or whatever forego CDs, which they are not CDs, they're Blu-rays, as a physical means of distributing
you.
games? Thank you very much. And will the format be seen the same way as cassettes and floppy disks are seen now? Do you think we get to an all digital state, or do you think we get to some kind of new
not yet.
new media that is not an optical media?
Because there's still huge chunks of their audience that aren't connected to reliable internet,
Mhm.
I think that's totally the case.
and that's a problem that is slowly being addressed, but not.
not in the way you want.
No.
But do you think we go the other way? And I would actually say maybe the answer there is no too, because a Blu-ray is way cheaper than a USB stick that has room for 50 gigs or more,
Right.
or a cartridge that has room for 50 gigs or more. Because some of these are coming on like 50 gig Blu-rays and stuff now.
Yep.
And they all are just installers.
Yep.
Yeah.
So all they do is install the game to the hard drive, and they don't run off the disk after you put them in.
Right. That's exactly what I want.
So
actually.
it is upfront inconvenience by putting the thing in and letting it do its thing, and also downloading whatever patches.
Yep.
Um,
Or sometimes
for
it's just as big as a fucking game.
for the same basic speed that you would get if this was coming off of a USB and
Mhm.
installing that way.
Yep.
And a cartridge, I think, would just be too expensive. So if all those prices changed, maybe, but probably not. I was in the process of playing Far Cry 5 across all platforms and stuff. It was another realization that the load times on modern consoles are pretty bad compared to a
Oh, sure.
modern PC with an SSD in it.
Yeah.
And it's not a benefit you can get all of by just slapping an SSD into a console.
Yeah. It's still not.
It doesn't-
It's good.
Quite get there. To me, I feel like that's one of the main things I would love to see next time out, even if it does have to be a more expensive like pro version of the console because they want to keep their costs down.
Mhm.
Like just an all SSD solution that has like a fast enough bus to really take advantage of that speed.
Totally. Yeah.
I would see as like crucial for whatever the next chunks of hardware we're going to see.
Mm-hmm.
Because Far Cry loads a whole lot faster on my PC. Like that game has
I'm
a
curious to see how Monster Hunter's gonna go because
Yeah.
yeah, the load times on consoles really
Yeah.
bad right now.
Far Cry actually vibrates the controller several seconds before it's done loading,
Just to give you a heads up,
as if to say, "Hey, we're almost
wake up,
done.
motherfucker.
We're almost done."
Unreal.
Yeah.
No, I like the idea of it's like, game shipping on, either just the Blu-ray itself or like a big ass USB stick.
Yeah, like,
but
I don't
want to
care
be
what
able
it-
to.
yeah.
I want to copy it to my console.
Yeah.
And I don't want to need
Right.
that again.
I don't-
until
yeah,
I reinstall it.
Well, yeah, if they got to a point where it's like stick the thing in and like, because that's the thing now is you still have to put the disc in if you want to play your physical versions of those games.
Yep.
And that's kind of what the original Xbox One vision was the disc is just like a PC. The disc just installs it. Your CD key is actually the thing that matters.
Didn't they also do it with the little memory cards that you can get for the 360? I want to say that, like Astro Pop came on.
Oh, right. Yes. Yeah.
Some of those
they
memory
did.
cards, you
Yeah.
could
And
just copy it
they
to-
put DRM around that where it's like this kind of ties it to your account.
Yeah.
But not, I forget how that actually works.
Yeah, I don't
but,
remember if you still needed that to be in at all
Yeah.
times. Oh, well.
But yeah, I think like as someone who does not like, it's a complicated thing, but as someone who doesn't really deal with used games ever, like the convenience of being able to treat a disc like, hey, this is just the installer, here's my CD key, whatever, I think would be good.
That sounds great.
The downside of it being like, well, someday this company goes defunct and the activation servers go offline and you can't activate any of your games anymore, even if you have the CD key and the disc and all this other stuff still. Or,
Yeah, you're right.
you know,
Damn it.
or finding a way to make that work long term matters. And then also like, you know, the killing off of used games is, I think, it's a very complicated subject that I don't feel like getting into all over again here right now. But there's a lot to that as well. David, with our final question of the show, I'm having a great time with Sea of Thieves with friends. It's something different and lets you discover instead of tutorials and progression. But like games like Minecraft, Ark, Fortnite, and PUBG, it looks like what you get out of it is what you put into it.
Yeah.
And it's all about the journey and experience instead of goals.
I get that. I understand that. That's not how I want to play typically. Like,
Right.
there's something to be said for, having shit pop up organically. I need a little structure.
I think,
though
I
sometimes-
think there's a right way to balance those things to have that feeling while still kind of, when the player runs out of ideas of what
Right.
to do next, like something that is a little more like, hey, here's a thing you can do.
I need a little guidance.
just a little bit,
help.
just a little bit.
Yep.
Also, comparing it to like what was it, Fortnite, PUBG, and
Yeah.
like those are games about getting better at the game and
Yeah.
trying to win the game and develop. Like, there's no persistence, but there is. You develop this skill set that it has a much higher skill ceiling than like. I don't know.
It's a little off. But Sea of Thieves ultimately is kind of a multiplayer PvP game too.
Yep.
It is,
because it's
but-
not like the skeletons and the snakes are providing.
I feel like the skill ceiling of Sea of Thieves is ridiculously low.
I
in
would
terms
play
of,
Sea of Thieves.
Right.
Yeah, you hold F to make your boat go faster.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just like if I put in another 3 hours of Sea of Thieves, I feel like I could be as good as that game as I need to accomplish what
Right.
that game has to offer for me.
Yeah.
And the only like interesting stuff comes in the PvP, like when you find another crew and it's like, okay, how do we outsmart these guys? But
Yeah, it still feels like pretty thin soup, especially compared. I mean, like mentioning Minecraft here, like
Yeah.
Minecraft, at least modern Minecraft, but even Minecraft back when it was in its infancy, it felt like there was just a ton of depth to it. Like just the
like once
crafting system.
people started
and
figuring out like
Redstone.
Redstone,
Yeah,
that like opened up the game to a whole new level.
right. It's a crazy thing. I don't understand Redstone. I probably never will.
What's a redstone?
It's like
Sure
it's like a
does.
blockchain.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
it's-
gotcha. Yeah, perfect sense. Good
I-
analogy.
We need to mine for coins in Minecraft.
I'll do it. I'll do it right now.
That has to be possible.
You can get diamonds in Minecraft, guys.
All right. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. All right.
This sounds way better than buying video cards.
Yeah. Anyways, actual question is there a different approach to reviewing a game like this, or is it not something you even attempt?
It's a tough call.
I think, you kind of have to review a game at the time you are reviewing it and
Yeah.
take that stuff into account. It's hard to look at a developer's roadmap and take that into account for a review in a real way. Like
Yep.
maybe you mention it, but you can't sit there and go like, well, it's going to be great in a year, guys, because you don't
Right.
know. That developer could fold tomorrow.
Yeah.
They
Or
could
if-
pull the plug on Sea of Thieves in a month from now and be like,
Yeah.
this didn't work. So if you're sitting there going like, well, they'll definitely get there. It's a great start. Like,
Or if their hook is like, emerging gameplay, but they don't really message that, it could seem a little barren
Sure.
or something like that. I
Yeah.
think that's kind of what we're seeing with Sea of Thieves. Like, we didn't really know what this game was going to be, but it seems to be built upon those emergent, like, organic.
Yeah, like I would
gameplay
put it in a
experiences.
similar lane, though not even really the same lane as stuff like Minecraft and Ark.
Yep.
In some ways, where it is like, oh, this is kind of open ended.
Yep.
But it doesn't even have like the tech tree you're climbing of just like, here I built a better sword,
Yeah,
or I
sure.
built a better this, or I built a better that. Like getting more powerful, whether it's against the environment or other players, was even a part of that stuff. When you start like, oh, I can mine the fuck out of this shit with this better bass pickaxe. This is good. I didn't start liking Minecraft until I was on like my second or third tier
really?
of pickaxe, and then suddenly it all clicked. It was like, this is now fast enough to where I'm way into this.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So yeah, I think you kind of have to review it for what it is at the time, and then make your decision about whether that's something you want to update over time, or if it's something like, hey, at this moment in time, this was this game. It's here for historical reasons almost because the game has changed and it's a year later and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And
Like, everybody's experiences are going to be a little bit different.
yeah, I think honestly, like Sea of Thieves, it seems like just even amongst people we know, the experiences have been wildly different. Where it's been like, oh, well, I got into this incredible moment with all these other players, and this weird shit happened, and we screwed them over and did
Meanwhile,
this.
you guys are just like,
And then I'm just like,
what
the
am I supposed
seas
to do
are
here?
empty.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing. The game seems bad alone. So
I should try playing with a full 4-person squad, because I feel like
Yeah.
the tolerance of bullshit is more than the sum of your like individual levels of, oh, I don't want to play this anymore. Like because even one person being like, no, come on guys, let's go over here and check this out, can be enough to like, maybe eventually we'll find something.
Yeah. Maybe eventually we'll find something. Jason, before we go, it sounds like you found some stuff at GDC.
Yeah. This is the first time that I've actually, been to a GDC. I was going to go check out some talks, never have found the time. So I instead went to like the expo stuff. Lots of booths with companies I've recognized, but they were totally showing off different things than I would expect. But what I found really interesting was the Alt Control GDC area. It's all these like experimental, like video game interfaces, there's one like a bartending thing. It's like they actual made physical bottles, and you'd pick that up and like in game it would represent that stuff. But there were so many just really, really cool interfaces that they're not like commercially like viable. Like, you're not going to buy like anything like
No,
this. So
yeah,
it's been really cool, like seeing what kind of stuff these people are coming up
I
with.
saw there was something where people to get into a coffin to play it.
Yep.
There was,
you get into a and you're trying to like get your way out. There's a unicorn experience where you had to like strap on like this big unicorn horn to your head and like hit buttons that way. One of the cooler ones that I saw was like this. It's called Voice Ball or Yell Ball, Voice Ball. And it's like a Pong setup. So the higher that your voice goes, or the note goes, it'll move the thing up and down. So it just led to people just like, screaming as loud as they could at various notes. But that shit is really, really interesting. And I've made like, weird controls like that. We did with that Punch Out thing.
Right.
That was hacking together like a DDR mat and some boxing gloves and shit. So that was really fun. And I'm pretty sure you can just check out like a video of the Control Alt
Right, yeah,
GDC and get like a flavor or get a taste, get a sampling of what was available there.
Yeah.
Really cool stuff.
Yeah, that stuff is always really cool. I haven't made it over to see that stuff in a couple of years, but yeah.
That was very interesting.
Cool.
I loved it.
All right. Well, let's see. This week we're gonna try and get a Far Cry quick look in today, hopefully, and get that up by the end of the day.
I just downloaded Detective Pikachu,
Okay.
so take a look at that.
Yeah, we'll take a look at that. Maybe close out this Gomon thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or just drag it out for as long.
that's right. I
as
want to
possible.
just like 2 hours of that creepy pervert wriggling around. Ugh, it's so good, but so filthy. It's just
We'll cleanse our palates with a little science after that.
yeah. Maybe we'll get some science.
Hell
too.
yeah.
And then we are gonna do the after show, probably a little short one because I have to edit this podcast and put this podcast up.
And we got to play some Far
and we got to play some Far Cry. But we will hang out for a little bit and take a few questions from you. If you're watching live, stay tuned, and we'll be back. As for everyone else, thanks for listening. We'll be back next Tuesday with another episode of the Giant Bombcast. Bye. Credible.com is an online marketplace for student loan refinancing. Using Credible.com's simple platform, it takes less than 2 minutes to find out if you're overpaying on your student loans. You could save thousands by refinancing. All you have to do is go to Credible.com/bombcast, answer a few questions, and right away you'll get real rates, not ranges of rates, from multiple lenders. Checking your rates will not affect your credit score, so you really have nothing to lose. The average user who refinances through Credible.com saves almost $19,000 over the life of their loan. And for a limited time, you can get a $200 welcome bonus when refinancing through Credible.com/bombcast. That's Credible.com/bombcast.